have been into Beyblade for nearly 10 years straight, chat. And that comes with a lot of bays. Shout out to everyone that requested this video. We have got my Beyblade X collection, the biggest Beyblade X collection question mark. We have got burst bays, metal fight, micro, rare bays, expensive bays, forgotten bays, Beyblade X bays, Hasbro exclusives. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with the Beyblade micros right here. These are very fun. They're like $5 each, $10 for the big way to get into Beyblade for the lowest price possible. And it's just really cute and mini. We got iParo, we've got another iParo, we got this, Excalius, right? And we've got a little metal fight one here. I do have a Leon, but I don't know where it is. I don't know where that one is. So yeah, these are all the mini bays that I have right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So yeah, 16 micro bays. This section is the broken and Beyblade burst bays that I do not use. So first of all, we got a green Death Scyther. I do believe this came in the pack with Unicorn. That was an absolutely amazing pack. Unfortunately, the Hasbro ones had a notorious thing of breaking right here. Like even the original color one. This is why I don't use Doom Sizer at all. The D2 one. Look at that. Both of them destroyed, chat. My backup and my original one destroyed. Both very good bays when they are destroyed. Next one we have this Hazikirbius. This Hazikirbius took a big hit and just never really recovered. Like as you can see, that spring doesn't work, but this one doesn't work either. It got whacked really hard and it has never recovered since. Next bay is Surge Excalius. And this one came in the sword launcher set. I did like the sword launcher for about 2 launches before it broke. It broke like in the first stage. Very disappointing, but a nice little watermelon sugar color scheme with the Surge Excalius. I don't like it. I don't like this color as much as the original, but it is still a very solid color. Our next one, of course, is a gold Excalius right here. This is a Hasbro one right here, Force Extreme, probably the best extreme driver that you can get from Hasbro outside of Dragoon S. But yeah, very solid dual layout. Absolutely love this gold one, and I barely really used it for obvious reasons because look how pretty that looks, chat. Alright, our next one we had like a, what was it, like a, how can I say it? It was like some frame set at Maya. Yeah, I swapped it out for Jaggy. But yeah, these were very good. I do like the colors of these. I did get this working with a bunch of frames, but yeah, very solid. And these are just backup bays. I don't really use these ones. This is a backup for Cod Knight. This is a backup for Rocky 4, and we have got a broken Guardian Kirby's that came in a double pack as well. So that is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 8 bays that I do not use and broken bays. I'll tally them up at the end, chat, and let me know how many bays we have got. We have got a Lightning Dragon Tornado XPS. This was a Hasbro bay. Surprisingly, did not come on the launcher. That's the crime, chat, because Lightning Dragon is the only less spin bay from Hasbro that I have. So yeah, it has to share that launcher. But yeah, this is the tallest metal fight bay. Very gimmicky, very quirky. I would not recommend this one to anyone unless they're just in it for the meme. So this is a very solid bay. I picked it up at Target at Forest at something. But yeah, I picked this up at Target. Target, very solid. I love this bay. It's a fun bay. I have a lot of memories attached to it. And yeah, I will not say anything about it. Now, I did have a Burn Phoenix, but that's completely broken. But that was my first ever Beyblade Metal Fight bay, so we'll add that to the tally as well in terms of the Metal Fight department, because this is Metal Fight department. Next one we have Legend Inferno Sagittario. Now, I do actually like this bay quite a lot. A little bit too tall though and too thin on the metal, but yeah, pretty solid bay overall. And then we have Midnight Bull. I got like 4 Midnight Bulls, so add that to the tally as well, chat. 4 Midnight Bulls. I just kept on buying Midnight Bulls and Samurai Cyber Legend Pegasuses at Target. I don't know why, chat. I don't know why. Maybe I just like them a lot. But yeah, this bay very recoily. Not the best for stamina, just a really fun bay for recoil. Our next bay, Cyber Legend Pegasus. I'd say I got about 3 of them, chat, and all the tips are broken, so I'm using a yellow one. But this bay is probably my favorite Metal Fight bay outside of the Lightning Dragon that I have. Very low to the ground and very nice with its upper attacks. Very solid, very basic, but very solid. We have Counter Rock Leone. Yeah, Counter Rock Leone. Just like another solid bay, chat. This is when they did defense right, where it actually defended, and you know, it wouldn't get knocked out, fly out of the stadium like a complete buffoon Black Knight Maul. And our final Metal Fight Bay is of course Lightning Out Drago. This is my first Let's Spin Bay. This was a very monumental bay. And yeah, this is the original chat. This is like been used since 2011. So this has been very much beaten up right here. I had to change the driver, but that's a-okay. I do like it in this mode a lot better. This is a lot more of an iconic mode for me than the other, you know, other mode. But yeah, I like this mode a lot more. So all together with the Metal Fight Bays, so 3 Summer Pegasus, 4 Midnight Bulls, 1 Burn Fire Blaze, that is 8, and then the other 4 bays, so that is 12 Metal Fight Bays. But yeah, this is just like when I was just dipping my toe in to the Beyblade stuff chat, but now this is where we level up. Next lot, our Recolored Burst Bays. Oh, there is a lot here, chat. I kind of separated them from like the regular colored, the anime accurate colored Beyblades, because that's the ones that I care about the most, chat. They're my favorite ones. But we've got plenty of good bays here. Don't count that out. That is for sure. We definitely have some good, or at least some fun bays here. That is for sure. We'll start off with this right here, Origin Achilles. Origin Achilles, just a bay that we really should have got Origin Lucifer over Origin Achilles, but this is still a very solid bit. I like this, what's it called? I forgot. Chassis bit better than Super Hyperion, which is obviously what it's kind of inspired off. But yeah, I absolutely adore this Origin blade right here. And then we've got Excel as well, another solid driver, and yeah, just a very solid bay overall. We have this is pretty forgettable. We'll just skip past all the forgettable bays. Let me get those out, chat. And yeah, a lot of these are just like side bays that are just like double pack bays that ain't nobody care about. This one's actually pretty good though, with a nice driver. Nothing too crazy with some of these bays though. But yeah, we'll just get into like the more important bays for sure. But like with like these 2 bays here, these 2 bays actually came with the correct metal disc, and the ones in the stadium set did not. So obviously you'd have to buy these and switch them out to get the anime accurate color with the right parts, which was very cheeky from Hasbro there. I don't like what Hasbro did there. We've got Eye Fritter. This is just a broken Eye Fritter, to be honest. I hate this bay. I absolutely hate this bay. My least favorite bay. Behemoth, Mammonoboros, Red Wyvern. This came with actually Odax 02. Got this for Easter. And yeah, very solid bay. Wyvern, a very solid bay. This was actually the tightest Wyvern in terms of slopes for W2. If you wanted the top slopes for Wyvern W2, this red one was the bay for you. Gold Betromoth. I actually really like the gold. See, and we didn't get too many gold bays. Chain Kraken. Chain Kraken, overall, just a bay that is just so like to be honest. Like Chain Kraken is so but Chain was the only way to get that chain base. This was the only way to get that chain base in Beyblade Burst for Hasbro, because they did not release any more in Australia, chat. They did not. It was embarrassing. Another bay that's just kind of only good for the driver. This I bought it because I was bored, to be honest. What else is here? Got a bunch of other ones. Like this came with Lord Spryzen. That's the only way I got that. Or World Spryzen. We got this one right here, which was a nice Zeus. I actually don't mind this Zeus. This Zeus is actually very, very hard to burst. I bought this on clearance for like, I don't know, 10 bucks. That was pretty good. This Blizzard X Gigaon, a very solid bay, great attacker. Probably my favorite Hunter bit. Very fast, very explosive, and surprisingly controlled if Hunter S was. Very solid. I really like that one. Just a whole bunch of other like random bays, like these 3. Random, completely random, to be fair. Cosmo Voltrak, okay. This is actually a bay, chat. This is actually a pretty good bay. So this was actually the first Trozetsu random booster prize bay that came with Storm Pegasus as well. So really Storm Pegasus was the prize bay. But yeah, that was just kind of a way to milk everyone from their wallet. TT, Hasbro just released it as just kind of a random and this bay is just really like you could probably skip this bay. It would not affect anything. This right here is Genesis Veltriac from Hasbro. Now this is the single pack one. This one's actually very solid. I do like this one. It comes with all the correct parts, and it's a good way to get Genesis Veltriac for a decent price, and that's what Hasbro really should be going for there. Unfortunately not the anime colors, but Very solid. Alright, what else do we have here, chat? This actually came out before Speedstorm came out in Australia. This was the first Speedstorm thing to come out in Australia. It was Spear Valkyriac. The Universe driver I never really got behind, and these metal discs were absolutely terrible at the time. Spear's kind of alright, and Valkyriac's kind of alright. This combo was just alright, to be fair. This Bush and Ashura and Ace Dragon, just like the Genesis Valkyriac, where it was a very nice way to get Ace Dragon and Bush and Ashura if you could not find or you weren't able to get the Ace Dragon vertical drop battle set. But yeah, same combos as those beys, just in a different color. We have got, what else do we have here? We've got a Rock Devore. This is just a recolor, nothing too special with that. We've actually got some pretty cool dual layer recolors right here. This is a Doom Sizer that came with Epic Eye Power, I believe, and I actually really like this Doom Sizer. This is probably my favorite Doom Sizer D1. Very similar to the Red Wyvern that we were talking about just a moment ago, where it's got really, really good burst resistance compared to like the original mold from Hasbro, and this is probably the better version, hands down, that is for sure. Our next ones, we just got some slingshot shit, to be honest. This one actually locked, and I can never put this back into battle ring mode. It's just stayed in slingshot, and it has not been able to get out. So that's a little bit disappointing. What else do we have here? We got some more Speedstorm and Turbo. Right Apollos and left Apollos. These were actually very good in the double pack to get because they were like 120 bucks Australian in that big set. So yeah, these were definitely the best budget way to get those. This green Wyvern was probably the worst Wyvern W2 for the slopes, but a single pack, very good. The best way to get it. The gold Wyvern, this one actually has really good slopes. Not as good as the red one, but probably the second best wild Wyvern for slopes, and a nice gold. You can't go wrong with that. Jaggy, a bit ballsy from Hasbro to say the least. Ogre, recolor, we don't care about that, to be fair. Stone Nemesis, and Stone Nemesis. Gargoyle, the Golden Dragon. They should have just left that out of that set, to be honest. Make it cost a little bit less. Marigna, I got this because I couldn't find Marigna at the time. I did eventually end up finding Marigna on clearance, but yeah, Marigna right there. A Shelter Regulus. I like Shelter Regulus, but this color scheme is just not it at all. Who else do we have here? Let's get rid of some other just like beys. Like these beys are kind of you know, we can skip those. I do like the Archer Hercules in the Orange Falcon colors though. We've got Zutron with the Revolve S, Revolve H. This was the only way to get Revolver Hypersphere, and it was actually a very solid one. A very easy driver to keep in the stadium in a serious way. It was nearly impossible to keep any bey in the stadium in that series. So yeah, that's a solid bey right there. Next one is Drasil S. Now, Drasil S, this was one Atomic S. Atomic S, a very solid way to get Atomic S. And also, Drasil S was just absolutely like abysmal in terms of like trying to find it in Australia. Really, really bad distribution for all of the original Plastic Gen colors outside of the Bronzer S and the Dragoon S double pack. And yeah, this one, very, very solid. This was the only way to get Drasil S in Australia, besides that big 4-pack that there was really no point in getting, because you would think, oh, Drasil is coming out in a single, in a double pack, right? Because that's what it came out in America and everything else, and you're thinking, oh, well, I'll just wait for the double pack, and yeah, no, Hasbro was like, no, that's just too bad for you. What else do we have here? We have Serta. This was a bey that I picked up for like $5 on clearance. Another good bey. We've actually got the Rip Fire beys right here. Now these were pretty cool. I only got 2 of them, quite frankly, because I don't have the budget, chat. If you subscribe though, you know, and watch another video, that's the best way to support, because all the money that comes into the channel will be put back into the channel, chat. That's a promise, you know. Emperorphornia, Spryzen right here. These, I don't think they really work anymore, right? Yeah, they don't work anymore, but these will light up beys right here, where they would spin and they would glow in the dark and have a nice color right here. Same with Drigger, Dragoon, and Dronza right here. These were the other beys that came in that Drasil wave, and these were the only ways to get them outside of the double packs, which did not pop up in Australia at all. Thank you, Hasbro, for the great distribution. But yeah, I actually really dig these two combos, the Dragoon and the Dronza. I actually ended up really liking those combos a lot. The 6 Jaggy and the 7 Tower S. Tower S, a very good slingshot driver in terms of like enjoying like playing with it. It was great. Let's go to these original 4 right here. These were actually pretty cool as well. So these are the original 4 single layers right here. I want to do one take because I want to be as authentic as possible in this collection video, chat. But like I said, let me know, tally up all the beys, let me know how many beys we have got, chat. These are the original 4 single packs for Beyblade Burst. We have got Kirby's, Veltrak, Spryzen, and Rock the Ball. Now, I don't have a Veltrak or a Kirby's in the original color, so these are my only Kirby's K1 and Veltrak V1s. But yeah, these are very good. Like, they came with all parts where if you got all 4, you can mix and match them and have the original parts as the double pack. So that was very, very solid. I did like that a lot. We've got 4 beys left here. We have got Evo World Helios right here. World Evo Helios, Outer Triumph, no, Charge, this is Charge S, isn't it? Outer, very solid metal. This was actually a pretty fun combo, especially if you switch that out for bearing. Very, very solid, chat. I really like that bay a lot. This was actually a bay from Kyosho Guy. Shout out to him, chat. Which was to a Zephyr right here. And he was actually the first person on the planet to review this bay on YouTube, to actually get a video out on this bay. So shout out to him, chat. Hopefully he uploads some more Beyblade videos, but he probably won't. Nepstrius, a very solid bay. I actually really like Nepstrius. Unfortunately, did not come with trans, but at the time I didn't really care too much because Zephyr on Nepstrius, it just felt better, chat. Like, I liked when we got Ultra Cognite with trans, I put trans on Neptune, and I'm gonna be honest, Nova Neptune with Zephyr is better than the one on trans. Like, let's be honest here, chat. Let's be honest for a second. We're not going to go into the stadiums. If you want to see all the stadiums, chat, let me know down in the comments below. We've got this green Fafnir. I like this Fafnir as well. This is another good Fafnir. This is more of a defensive Fafnir. It sits in the center a lot more than Drain Fafnir, and it can take those hits a bit better. And I've noticed that it doesn't burst as much as the original Drain Fafnir. But yeah, that is all of our recolor burst bays. I'll tally them all up, and I'll come back to you with the number of how many bays that is. That was 70 recolor bays, chat. Now, for unveiling for the next part, we have got the Pro Series and TT Beyblade burst bays. Now, to be fair, I don't keep apart my Hasbro bays for that. Obviously, I want to reserve my bays for as long as possible, and I don't want to have a Venom Devilos with no teeth when I'm not even using it, right? Like, if it's going to lose its teeth, I want it to lose its teeth while I'm battling it at least, you know? But yeah, we got some fun bays here, chat. That is for sure. Who should we start off with first? Let's start off with Guardian Kirby's right here. Heavy Revolve right here. Surprisingly, this was really weird at TT. They could have just gave it like orbit. Like, that would make sense, right? Orbit. But no, they decided Guardian Kirby's is the stamina type, which made absolutely no sense. But hey, you know what? Hasbro, TT, do you. Next one, we got another TT Bay. We've got Emperor Fornius 0 Yard. I like the Hasbro Yard a lot better than the TT one. This one just scrapes too much, and it's just not as fun as the Hasbro one. But yeah, I never really got around to Emperor Fornius. Emperor Fornius just wasn't my cup of tea. We've got the Luna Red Guardian Kirby's, the same Guardian Kirby's as the green one, just in red. We've also got Bush and Ashindra, a very solid bay with Hurricane and Keep right here. Very solid defense type bay, lacking on stamina, but defense isn't about stamina. It's about defense. What else do we have? What other TT bays we have? Okay, we got 2 more TT bays. We've got a really good one here. We've got Maminaburo. It's very underrated bay. Especially when it came out, I believe in the God era. That Quake driver looks so much better than the Hasbro one, to be fair. I do like these clear drivers a lot more than the solid ones. Nice purple metal right here. Very good teeth as well, which you're going to need for a bay like Minoboros, because look at the shape. The shape is not the best. And yeah, but yeah, not too bad that bay. Next one, Asteroid Zeus. I really wish we got Planet from Hasbro. We never ended up getting that at all. This obviously comes with 4, Star, and Planet. Very solid bay right here. Just, you think that Nightmare has a lot of balls, metal balls. Wait until you meet Asteroid Zeus. That's a lot of metal balls. And next one we have got Heaven Pegasus right here. 0 proof. I believe that's proof, right, chat? I could be wrong. And Low. Low was a very interesting one. Not many people used it. I honestly like this a lot though, where it's kind of like Eternal, but it has metal instead of PRM or plastic. I really do like Low a lot. And yeah, this one had a really cool gimmick where if it was about to burst, it gets hit, it comes back a couple clicks, you know? And then later in the battle, you hit it again and again, and if you hit it on those gold wings, it would re-lock itself, which means statistically it would never burst if someone hit those layers. Unfortunately, we would never be able to find out if that ended up working or not. Now, our first Pro Series stuff came with a big stadium, right, chat? It came with a big stadium, and this is where we got fake dash drivers until Hasbro got backlash, and Hasbro was like, oh, we can't do that anymore because it's meant to be Pro Series, they're paying a premium, and we can't get away with that. But yeah, these were actually very solid though. The color though, the limited edition black Achilles, if you couldn't get that, this was the best way to get it from Hasbro, and it's really solid, chat. And also there was like a lottery, Cozy Veltrack. You can just get it in this $100 set at the time, which was pretty good. 1 dash absorb on Achilles didn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know what they were thinking there. And then we got Zenith Destroy on Cozy Veltrack, which was actually a very, very good combo. If you take out the fact that this was actually a fake dash driver, chat. This was a fake dash driver, as you can see by the regular string. So it has the dash logo on it, but it was just a regular, you know, just a regular, which is actually very disappointing from Hasbro right there. But Hasbro quickly turned that around in the next couple of waves, right? In the next couple of waves, we got some banging bays, chat. We got some bangers. All right, let's go on to our next bay, which was actually Soul Bell Cash, which was weird, chat, but I feel like they did it better than TT with the Soul and the Paradox frame. The Paradox frame worked best on the Soul base right here, where it could have a double defense right there, and then Eternal coming in. This was actually a very solid choice, making this bay very, very good. One of my favorite stamina Beyblades from Beyblade Burst Pro Series. Our next bays, there's a lot of good bays here, chat. There's a lot of good bays. Wizard Fafnir. Wizard Fafnir. I was gonna say Wizard Arrow. Wizard Fafnir with Ratchet Hold or some shit like that. But yeah, very solid. You could basically place this in the stadium like that, and it could spin still by standing up, which was ridiculous, chat. So much rub on this. Probably the worst Fafnir though in terms of burst resistance. That was the one thing that held it down a lot, is the burst resistance was absolutely atrocious on Wizard Fafnir. But overall, a very solid bay if you take out the burst resistance. Now, a bay that does not have bad burst resistance though. Let's talk about it. This is Zwei Luanor. This bay had a decent mix and match of parts, but it was just solid, chat, because those parts were so good. We got Zwei Luanor, which, look at that uppercut, chat. Imagine if a Beyblade X bay had that. That'd be ridiculous, chat. But yeah, big uppercuts, as you can see by that, and you're meeting a big metal dragon head as well. That's some lethal damage. And then we got Blitz right here, the best Beyblade Burst disc right there, by far the best disc from Beyblade Burst at the time. And then we got Extend Plus. Extend Plus never really went out of fashion. It came around Beyblade Turbo, and it never really left the meta. It was top tier as soon as it came out, and it never left the meta at all, which was great to see from that bay. Our next one, Perfect Phoenix. Now, honestly, I have a lot of bone to pick with Perfect Phoenix. Yeah, for sure, guy. Once again, for reviewing this bay first, I reviewed Zwei Luanor first. Yeah. This was like peak, first introduction of the Lego Blader stuff, which used to be the name of the channel. 8 dash Proof Friction. Proof was a good addition. Perfect Phoenix, I don't really like Perfect Phoenix, to be honest. I just don't like the armor. The armor is just so ridiculous. Like, I don't like it at all. Not because it's bad, but because it's so much of a pain in the ass to get on the launcher. Our next bay, there's a lot of them. Next one, Judgment Joker. Judgment Joker Pro Series, another really good GT bay. Now in Beyblade Burst GT or Beyblade Burst Rise, more people know as that. The series was probably the worst series in Beyblade Burst, but in terms of like the show, but in terms of the bays, we had very solid bays. We had Wizard, we had Sword, we had Command Dragon, Union Achilles, Prime Apocalypse, Genesis Eclipse, a whole bunch of great bays. This came with Zero, Glaive, and Ultimate Reboot. So this bay has a lot of stuff going for it. Judgment Joker with the Judgment Blade, really good, and then the Ultimate Reboot that we've been waiting for Hasbro to drop for years at that point when this came out. Next one, we've got Venom Devilos. We needed a dual spin bay that was solid, and Venom Devilos would fill that gap in Beyblade Burst Pro Series. Probably the best Pachinko layer out of the bunch. Venom, not the best base, but this Devilos is all you need. That was worth the 35 bucks at the time. And the variable dash, and then outer is kind of air, but yeah. No, outer's good, But yeah, this bay, we've seen outer before though. It wasn't too great in terms of like, we've seen it before. That's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, Venom Devilos, very, very solid. Just not that perfect though. Solid, but you could do a lot better. Now, Wizard Fafnir did come in a set, a Black Pro Series Stadium, and the other bay in that set was Slash Valtryek Sting Ultimate Dash. It's not Ultimate, Extreme Dash. Now, Extreme Dash, probably the best attack type driver of all time in Beyblade Burst. Sting, another very good disc from Beyblade Burst Rise, right up there with stuff like Blitz. And yeah, Slash not so good. The Valtryek bit, very good though. So yeah, this is probably like an 8 out of 10 this day. Very solid day. Just wish the Slash bit was a bit rounder or a bit more aerodynamic for a bay like Slash Valtryek. Our next one, ooh, this is another good bay. You know, I unboxed this bay first, chat. Good times, chat. I found this bay first in the cough. And yeah, Lord Sprazen Outer Fusion Dash. This is when it actually Hasbro cared about Australia and actually released the base first here, chat. Now I'm not saying that they've got to release the base here first to, you know, for anyone to care about us. I'm just saying, like, just release them, like, give them a release date. Like, do what a video game does, chat. Or do what Japan does, where we get a global release date for the bay. You know, none of this, or it just randomly pops up. But this was a very solid bay. Fusion Dash, probably the most aired dash of all time. Around another metal disc that I was hoping to get for a while, chat, and we finally got it. It should have came on, it shouldn't have came on Giga Dragoon. It should have came on a Zootron that they should have had as a GT bay. Lord Sprazen, a very good dual spin bay. This bay was destroying the meta. Very simple and very easy. Lord Sprazen, Blitz, Extend Plus was ridiculous at the time. We've only got a couple of bays left here. Let's go into our last Beyblade from Beyblade Burst Rise. Now, I did see a Helios. I did not pick it up, unfortunately. There's just too much Beyblade X stuff at the time, chat, and I just I couldn't get all those bays, chat, and then get Helios on top of it. This was like Beyblade X Season 2 was out, and I could not justify getting that bay, chat. But yeah, Command Dragon, very, very top tier. I keep on saying that, chat, but it's true. Quick Dash, another good bit. I actually like that a bit more than Extreme on occasion. Vanguard scrapes too much, but this bay was the full package. Like this blade and the dash driver, what else could you want for 35 bucks? Now the next bay, right here we have got Vex Lucius. Right here, Vex Lucius. Probably our first sparking bay that we've seen in the Beyblade Burst Pro Series. Right here we've got Mobius as well with the P-Arm, which was actually a foreign concept for Hasbro up until this point. They refused to put P-Arm on bays. forever, chat. Forever, which is basically just a slippery plastic, but they refused to do that for so long. The barrier, which would make Vexlucis so trash against any right spin bay, but absolutely dominate any left spin bay. So that was the ultimate double sword. This chassis, 2D I believe, was so good for left spin matchups, reverse rotation matchups, but absolutely got dominated when it came to same spin rotation. Our next bay we have got is Brave Valtryek. Brave Valtryek, a very solid bay, probably the best Valtryek of all time, chat, let's be honest here. We have got Brave Valtryek, Evolution Dash. Evolution Dash, a lot better than Variable Dash in my opinion, and this rubber chassis just fits Valtryek so well. You can go for the double blade or you can go for the 6 blade, whichever one you prefer. And our final Pro Series bay in this section, chat, is Rage Luminor 2A Destroy Dash. Destroy Dash, probably very great, like very great. And Rage Luminor had the best attack type combo of all time, chat. We had Helios with the TT, we had this with the Extreme Dash, and it was unbeatable in Sparking. But yeah, this is an absolutely amazing bay. I love having this bay back on my hand, chat. I have not used this bay in a while because, you know, no one really wants to see these burst bays anymore, which is unfortunate by themselves. So yeah. But let me know if I should bring back some burst matchups, chat. Let me know. Let me know. I would love to. But yeah, there's just not really much of a reason to, you know? But yeah, that's Pro Series and TT stuff. So overall we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 TT and Pro Series bays for the Pro Series and TT bit of today's video. Alright, we've got our Beyblade Burst bays right here. This is the mother load, chat. This is the bucket load of Beyblade Burst bays. Now we've got our Beyblade Burst Mainline bays right here. Let's get straight into it, chat. Woo. There is a lot of bays here, chat. There is a lot of bays. Which one should we grab first, chat? Alright, let's grab Vanish Fafnir. Let's grab Vanish Fafnir. Vanish Fafnir, solid bay, chat. Just overall, just got let down by Hasbro's simple need to not care, not to give a shit about any Beyblade. You know, like they just did not care. They were like, if you want us to care, get a Pro Series bay. If not, then just leave. You know, that was very much their mentality. It was, you know, get the Pro Series or don't talk to us, basically, which was very disappointing from Hasbro. We've got Yettrion right here. Yettrion is alright, to be fair. Yettrion's alright. Mirage Fafnir. This was showing signs of bringing the gimmicks back from Hasbro, and then Hasbro decided, you know what, we're not doing that, chat. We're not doing that. They kind of just like, you know, teased us, showing that, yeah, we can put the gimmicks on the base, but we're not going to do that. Next ones, we got some Doomsizer and a Wizard Fafnir. Now, I kind of regret getting Wizard Fafnir, chat, that early. There was a Ninjago Omega pack, and I'm going to be honest, chat, with the Omega in it, and I just missed it, you know? I was like, I'll get Wizard Fafnir. And then that was a big mistake, chat. That was a big mistake because I could still pick up Wizard Fafnir today. I cannot pick up the Omega today for anywhere less than 120 bucks, which is ridiculous. We've got Glyph Dragon right here. Glyph Dragon with Sting and Charge. Now, all these metal discs from Beyblade Burst Rise were absolute dog shit, chat. We've also got Rock Dragon as well. But yeah, Glyph Dragon was the better dragon in the series for the Beyblade Burst Rise, that it was for sure. Is actually very competitively viable for tournaments for Hasbro only bays. Next one, we got to speed through this, chat. It's like 2 in the morning, okay? We have got Revive Phoenix 10 Friction right here. Ooh, this is a good bay. But this was actually done right. Like, I actually prefer the Hasbro armor over the Pro Series armor. The Pro Series armor was just absolutely atrocious. I could not get behind it, chat. I could not get behind it. It was terrible. The launch is terrible. And all that stuff, right? All that stuff. right there. We have got Stellar Hyperion and Comet Helios right here. The twin bays right here. Another great bays right here. I would say that Stellar Hyperion would normally beat Comment and Subscribe Helios, but Comment and Subscribe Helios is the better bay overall. Now, unfortunately, those bays do not have the split gimmick that other bays have, chat. Okay, let's grab another handful of bays. Let's just go at them one by one. Right, here's our next 4 bays right here. Let's go Flame, Pandora. I feel like these Pandoras were milked out a bit too much, chat. Right, I kind of wish we only had 2 of them. We did not need 4. It was just a simple way for Hasbro to say, give us more money. That was it with these ones. Just give us more money. Chain Kirbyus right here. Chain Kirbyus, another, you know, just a great quad drive bay. Like, I know quad drive gets a lot of shit, but this was just a great quad drive bay right here. Obviously, not the best at all. It looks like a 2-year-old Lego Duplo set compared to the TT, but not a bad quad drive bay at all if you take the detail away and aside. Now, Evil, Embryo, Lucius. Now, everyone knows I have this bay, chat. Everyone knows I have this bay. This came with Drift right here, Vertical, and Absolute Waste, chat. I don't know why it came with Vertical, but Drift, a very top tier part, and Lucius right here. Gotta give it some credit. Our next one, Nightmare, Luminor on Destroy. And yeah, this is a very fun bay, chat. This is a very fun bay. It can't burst, I don't believe. Like, I've only seen this bay ever burst like twice. From like the nearly 10 plus years of having it. Yeah, I'm old, chat. It doesn't burst. It doesn't burst. This is a perfect bay right here, in my opinion, for Beyblade Burst Evolution. Only problem with it is that would knock it down to about an 8 out of 10 is that the Dragon Head launcher, terrible, chat. It does not launch on the launcher properly at all. Same with the Phoenix, absolutely terrible. Alright, our next handful, chat, right here. Alright, let's get into Guardian Kirby. Guardian Kirby is done right, chat. Still in a stamina mode, which is unfortunate, but this would ideally defeat Guardian Kirby from TT any day of the week. What else? We got Holy Doomsazer. This is actually a very smart idea from Hasbro, outside of obviously butchering everything, chat, which is the main problem with Hasbro. This bay is actually very solid and very good for only 12 bucks, chat. You can pick this up for under 10 bucks American, 12 bucks Australian, and you can have a random booster bay for a fraction of the price of a random booster bay. And next one, Magma Ifrit. This shit's passing that one. I don't even want to see it, chat. This is the Red Salvage Voltrak. If they did not butcher the gimmick here, this bay would be very desirable, chat. But this bay is not desirable because of the fact that they butchered the gimmick. But this was a good way to get that red mold, which was only available in like the same type of way as the black Achilles. So yeah, that was a very good way to get that color. Now we've got Dead Hades here. Dead Hades, probably the best Beyblade Burst Turbo Bay that they have released from Hasbro. Great uppercut right here, big smash attacks, and yeah, the 11 turn Zephyr. Alright, next batch. Let's just grab a bunch, chat. Alright, we've got a bunch here, chat. We have a bunch here. Alright, we've got Vice Leopard, a random booster bay that I'm so happy that Hasbro actually kept the gimmick for. Like the big chomper gimmick right there. 12, lift, destroy solid, Vice Leopard, a forgotten bay, but a very powerful bay at that. Our next bay, Jet Wyvern, actually has the gimmick, chat, but terrible parts, big letdown. Ruined Pandemonium, very translucent for the sake of that Light Ignite Stadium, which I kind of got behind and I kind of didn't. And yeah, the parts are translucent. Big thumbs up for Hasbro for the translucentness of this bay. But this bay was just too round to do any damage really against any Beyblade Burst bay. These 4 bays right here, let's just talk about them one by one, chat. You can see them all on screen. Let's start off with Oritoken, which is of course the gold bay. This bay was very hard to find at the time of finding it, and then it was very easy to find in the last couple of months of it being revealed, obviously out of Octa. This was a really smart move from Hasbro to release this bay alongside Amaterios. These 2 bays were like $400 plus TT, very desirable, collectors wanted them, fans of the franchise wanted them, collectors wanted them, people wanted to battle them, and they just could not because those price tags were too high because they were rare bay get battles. But yeah, very solid choice from Hasbro to actually keep the gimmick on Orichalcum. Now, Surge Excalius, probably my favorite Excalius bay outside of the fact that it bursts quite a lot. It has one iron. Iron was meant to be like a metal version of Excel, but just could not hit the mark there. Just did not have enough stamina to be called anything close to Excel. Legend Spryzen, the first dual spin Beyblade for Beyblade Burst. This was introduced by Red Eye, and if you have not watched the thing, I'm not going to spoil it, chat. But yeah, 7 Merge. Merge was quite a downgrade from Unite. Unite was a lot better than Merge. And yeah, this was meant to be a dual spin bay. It did pretty good in right spin, but left spin was just atrocious for it. It had that big gap right here whenever it hit a bay in left spin and just auto burst. Like, it was terrible. And then Drain Fafnir, this bay was such a pain to get. Biggest, like I said, Beyblade Burst Evolution was probably the peak for the last 10 years for Beyblade. Like, let's just be honest here, chat. Like, all the hype that's going on now for Beyblade X is nothing compared to Beyblade Burst. Like, Beyblade Burst Evolution was the peak of Beyblade for the last 10 plus years, chat. And yeah, 8-0 right there. You could not get away with you could not go past someone that didn't have a kid that wanted a Beyblade from Beyblade Burst Evolution. That's how big it was, chat. Drain Fafnir, 8-0. Probably, I'm gonna be honest, chat, probably the most iconic Beyblade Burst bay of all time. One of the most iconic bays of all time. Drain Fafnir, the hand-spinning legend himself, outside of Meteor El Drago. Drain Fafnir, very simple. You can hand spin it, and it would spin equal eyes. Also, it was one of the best Beyblade Burst bays at the time, with Proof Atomic. Next one. We'll just go in fours, chat. We'll just go in fours and explain each one by one, and we'll just grab them randomly. Okay, so we have Harmony Pegasus, or should I say Heaven Pegasus, Spear Dullahan, and we'll just get this one out because this one's absolutely butched. I hate that one. And same with the Spear Dullahan. Spear Dullahan. These two bays right here, Evo Flamebringer Hyperion and Harmony Pegasus. Harmony Pegasus, this is actually a pretty good bay and did pretty well against its TT counterpart, and was actually able to stay in the stadium, unlike Flame Hyperion. Now, Flame Hyperion was the worst Hyperion out of the Evolution lineup of the entire time we had Hyperion, and this was no exception. This was too light, too hollow. Look at all the hollow, chat. Absolutely terrible. Our next ones, chat. We got all these ones right here. Let's grab one more bay. We'll just go by 5s, chat. We'll go by 5s. So Zyphon Excalius came with a sword launcher that actually worked, chat. So it took Hasbro about 5 years to take that sword launcher and actually make it usable. We have a raised Devilos. I did not like this bay at all. We have Turbo Spryzen, probably the first bay to take down Orichalcum stock combo wise. Orichalcum was the king of stock combo Hasbro bays for a long time, and this was the first bay that could actually consistently take down Orichalcum. Next one, Anna. This bay was absolutely dog shit and overhyped for the shit house for no reason. And then we have got, for the final bay here, we have got Phantasm. Came with the Proof frame, which was very solid. One of the best discs come out, especially probably the best disc from Beyblade Burst Season 1. And then Edge is dog shit. Like, let's be honest here, chat. Edge is not cooking, chat. It's not cooking. And yeah, we have got Prime Apocalypse, Breaker Excalius, Deep Kanox, and Orb Engard. Orb Engard, no rubber, no suction cup, no fun. This bay came in a $100 set, and it was kind of air. This bay, Breaker Excalius, had a good gimmick, had some good stuff going for it, no metal on the bottom, and it broke. So yeah, that's not great. Now Deep Kanox was actually a very solid bay. I did like this bay quite a lot. Now this bay, very solid, like I said before. But yeah, it just did not. It's just too burstable. But this actually got me to the finals of a Beyblade Burst tournament in Melbourne, chat. So yeah, this bay very top tier at the time for Beyblade Burst. You can pick this up, stock combo, and it would dominate just about any bay on the field. We'll grab another 4, chat. Okay, Judgment Joker. This was this Judgment Joker was bad, chat. Double O and Trick. Double O was the only good thing here. Everything else was kind of on that one. Next one we got Eye Power. This bay could never burst, chat, by another Beyblade Burst bay. For season 1 for a while, that gold edge was so tight, chat. Like, ridiculously tight spring. And yeah, not the best bay, but a very hard bay to burst. Now, Storm Horizon, one of my favorite Beyblade Burst season 1 bays, outside of a 4-stack bay like Lost Luminol and Army Odax and Unlocked Unicorn. This bay is actually very good for smash attacks and the Unite. A big improvement over Merge. Merge definitely took a step back compared to Unite. We've got Blast Genius right here, Cyclone War, 5 Glaive, Guard, and yeah, Glaive. This was actually the first big 5 bay to consistently take out Drain Fafnir. There's still so many bays to get to, chat. This is gonna be a 2-day filming, chat. We have got the K Perseus. I picked this up because it's the only way to get the K Blade from Hasbro, and the Unite is pretty atrocious. Like, this is such a downgrade compared to like the actual Unite driver. Next one right here, we have got Apollo right here, which came with 10 and Atomic. Alright, Achilles, the worst turbo bay, the worst release, day 1 release day for any Beyblade Burst season. This bay just bursted in like 2 bits every time. Next one we have got Gambit Dragon, which came with Karma and Charge. Okay, next one. Strike Genesis Track, Wild Wyvern, and Balor. And yeah, so Wild Wyvern, this is actually a very good bay. I like this bay quite a lot. But yeah, not the best one. It was not as good as like the Red Wyvern. This bay I got back when I got, you know, I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, very solid bay. This bay came in an overpriced set that was only good for Twin Optimus, because this base, guess what? It still has its gimmick, even though it's meant to be Strike Genesis. Bella right here, which comes with 6 Spiral, Bella, a decent bay, very, very decent. But yeah, shout out to that one guy that said Bella is his favorite bay. I hope he's still watching. He's probably not there. He's probably not watching anymore. Next base right here, we've got Myth Odax, Saturn, Tide Treptune, and our Bellfire. Now, Myth Odax was actually very surprising that we got this bay from Hasbro at all, because this was a random layer bay from TT. And Hasbro actually put down the official combo for this, which was 1 dash and Destroy H. So yeah, very decent. Next one, Tide Traptune. This came alongside Asteroid Zeusatron and actually had the gimmick. Now, unfortunately, it did not have Wedge and it came with Edge. Our next one, we have got Cursed Saturn, Hurricane Universe right there. Hurricane Universe. And I actually did pick up this bay as a random booster bay from TT. I had to pick it up, chat. It was just too good not to pick up. So I picked that up. That was for sure very, very solid. And then we have got our Evo Bellfire. This was our second last Bellfire to release for Hasbro and to any bay, to be honest. This bay was actually kind of such like a mixed bag, to say the least. Like, this bay had a lot of stuff going for it, and it didn't. Like, the spring, like the slopes were really good on it, and that was really about it, to be fair. And yeah, everything else was kind of just kind of went downhill. But yeah, this bay, not too shabby. This video is gonna be an hour long. Alright, I will tally up all of the Beyblade Burst stuff at the end of the Beyblade Burst segment. We're going to go off series now, because I feel like that's really a smoother way to do this. So we've got our remaining Rise bays right here. Yeah, very, very solid looking bays. I just feel like Hasbro just decided to just completely budget out on them. I did like stuff like Inferno Salamander right here. Let's have a look at this real quick. Inferno Salamander with Wing and Jaggy H. Now, this was actually a very good concept from Hasbro. Imagine if TT did this, where they had Inferno Salamander as a bay. It would go absolutely insane, chat. With the metal and everything, it would have been crazy. But yeah, this was a good thing for Hasbro. I do appreciate Hasbro doing this, like, say, with like the Shield Kirby or something. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it was a solid way for them to make another salamander, you know? So I appreciate that. The execution was kind of mid, but I appreciate the effort, alright chat? From Hasbro. Now, Lord Spryzen right here on Blitz and Extend Plus. Nothing really too crazy with this one, but this was the first Rise Bay to have a dual spin chip, which I will show you real quick. Yeah, very easy. So basically, if we zoom in on this chat, as you can see, it says L there, and then it says, and then you could turn it to L, right? And the L would disappear, or whatever, and there should be a R somewhere. But I don't know where the R is, but yeah, the R should be somewhere there, chat. Right there. Alright, cool. So the R, focus camera. So the R is there, the L is right there. So wherever this would be sighted would be where it is. So as you can see, it's left spin right there, and then if you put it right there, it would be right spin right there. Alright, very nice, very, very nice. A decent bay to say the least. Now my camera isn't the best, chat, with quality. Like I say, it's 4K, chat, but it struggles with some certain things. Next one, we got Ace Dragon right here. Ace Dragon was only available with a green Bushin Ashindra in the vertical drop bay stadium, and this was actually a pretty decent bay. I do believe the slopes were not as good as on this one compared to like the Glyph Dragon or the Rock Dragon. I believe this had the worst molded slopes out of any Dragon bay of that wave besides Command Dragon. But yeah, decent attack type. Nothing too crazy to run home about, but it was a decent attack type. And I also did enjoy these bays right here. These were the Hasbro exclusive bays that they turned into Rise bays. So obviously we saw these from Beyblade Burst Turbo with Ogre, which was a red bay at the time. And then we had Sphinx, S4. They were pretty cool, chat, to be fair. I did like the design of some of those bays. Yeah, they just really like put these into Hypersphere for ourselves. It's kind of a single pack. 6 Jaggy. This bay was just pretty decent. Like, it was decent. I did like the look of it, but it was just decent. Nothing too crazy. That's what most of these Hasbro bays are. Nothing too crazy. And then our next one, we have got Monster Ogre. Now, Monster Ogre with Outer and Octa was actually a pretty good Rise bay, to be fair. This bay actually did pretty good. If you swap the chip around for like Achilles or Eclipse Genesis, this will be a very, very solid bay. The attack points were good enough to do some damage, but also good enough to not like hurt the bay's slopes in any way. Outer, very good to push the way outer. That is very good for attacks and stamina. And then the Octa Hypersphere is also very, very solid. I do like this one a lot. It's very hard to keep in the stadium, but once you know how to keep that in the stadium, you're going to have a fun time with Monster Ogre. This is a very good bay. I highly recommend picking it up, chat, if you're looking for some Beyblade Burst stuff. Highly recommend Monster Ogre. Another bay that was pretty good right here was Cosmo Kraken. Same stick with the other one. We will actually show the Turbo Kraken in one moment real quick. But yeah, this was very good because this Kraken right here, same as like the Monster Ogre where you got it in a double pack, but it was just like a form of a turbo one that went to a GT layer, which I do appreciate Hasbro doing a lot. Thank you, Hasbro, for that. And yeah, very decent bay. Cosmo, not the best thing, though I much prefer this one. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this Shozetsu one, or Turbo, Beyblade Burst Turbo one, was actually really good. It had a new part, Wave. Wave was actually really good for balance more than stamina. I wouldn't really say it was a stamina bay, it was pretty good for balance. And this bay was actually pretty solid, chat, back in the day. The Kraken, pretty solid. Not a bad bay at all, the Kraken. Alright, what else have we got here, chat? We'll save some of these bays for last. Did we talk about Apocalypse? I think we did talk about Apocalypse. Alright. And next one, got Viper Hydrax. This is actually the first left spin Beyblade that was exclusive to Hasbro at the time. TT has never made a Viper Hydrax of this caliber, chat. This was actually pretty good. It came with an exclusive metal disc right there. I remember getting this for birthday back when I was a eeny beady, a little teeny weeny. But yeah, decent bay. Not the best with these Hypersphere drivers. That was the main problem with these Hypersphere drivers. The drivers just weren't it. But not a bad bay at all. Alright, we got a couple of bays left here. There's still plenty of bays. Now, obviously, Master Devilos and Shield Kirby's never came to Australia. That's why I don't have them. But if they did come to Australia, I would have them in the collection, chat. This is 100% a collection video, chat. There's no bullshit going on here. Okay. Next bay, let's go with Sword. So Sword Veltrack came in Wave 1 for Beyblade Burst Rise. It came with Blitz, a very butchered down Blitz. Nothing compares to the Pro Series one that we showed you earlier. And Power. This bay was just so Like, I'm gonna be honest, like the slopes weren't good. We already know the Sword slash base is not good at all. It's very burst prone, and then mix that with the lightness. This is probably the worst Beyblade Burst Rise bay to get in Wave 1. Now, as we move on to Wave 2, we do have stuff like Union Achilles and Venom Devilos, Wave 1 starter packs. Now, Venom Devilos, probably, I like this, to be honest. This one was good. It had an extra ridge instead of just a ball as the driver, which means you could actually use this and actually be effective with some of the hits. And it had decent slopes, chat. Decent slopes. It's just a very decent bay. It came out with Judgment Joker, and I do believe the other bay that came in the wave was Union Achilles. Now, Union Achilles was the best bay out of Beyblade Burst Rise Wave 2 for the starter packs. It had very good slopes. The gimmick, chat, you won't believe this, the gimmick actually works. It actually works. Like, chat, I repeat, a Hasbro gimmick that actually works. That was actually like rare at this time. They just got done with Beyblade Burst Evolution. Then they started messing it up with Beyblade Burst Turbo, but we still had some of the gimmicks, and then the gimmicks were just completely gone. So like, this is the only bay from Beyblade Burst Rise that really has a gimmick still. This bay was actually very, very good. The chip is the main selling point for this bay, and that's really about it with this one. But very, very solid bay. That's another good one. Wave, I think this is a Wave 2 or Wave 3 double pack bay. This was Dusk Bahamut. Dusk Bahamut from TT looked very good, and this bay just did not do anything, chat. Like, this bay is really easy to burst. It was not that good. And yeah, the only chip that was any good for Beyblade Burst Rise, that was the last bay, was indeed the Sway Little. That was it. That was the only good chip. This bay was alright. Very good for Life After Death, though, with this Orbit H driver. Very good for Life After Death with that. But other than that, this bay is just kind of air with that. So our final three right here for the Rise part of this. We'll start off with Genesis right here. Genesis right here. Nothing too crazy. I would say that this Genesis, honestly, not that bad the driver was, but the burst resistance and the shape was just not that good at all. Like, especially when they take the infinite lock system out of Eclipse, no, it's not Eclipse, of this Genesis. It's just not that good, chat. It bursts way too easy. Alright, our final two, Beyblade Burst Rise bays. Our final two bays, we'll start off with our Command Dragon right here. Command Dragon, this was very hollowed out, chat. Like, look how hollow that is. That's embarrassingly hollow. You can have the QR code. I don't even think that app works anymore. This bay, very, very light and hollow with that. This was the main selling point with it. This didn't have the best burst resistance because the spring was kind of air, but this was actually pretty good. This was pretty good for the time for Hasbro Beyblade Burst Rise stuff. It was definitely one of the more average bays, but definitely one of the better average bays in Beyblade Burst Rise. And then if we go into the final bay, we're gonna end it off good. Eclipse Genesis right here with Friction H, just the full package really, chat. This was a good way to send off Beyblade Burst Rise. Eclipse Genesis, unfortunately this Eclipse armor does not come off, chat, but Eclipse Genesis, a very, very good bay at that, with that making it nearly unburstable, chat. And this bay was actually pretty tough, chat. It can dish out some pretty heavy hits against other Beyblade Burst bays. This Friction H drive was very easy to control in the Beyblade Rise Stadium and regular Beyblade Burst Pro Series Stadium. So this bay was actually pretty good for knockout power and to burst other bays. Stamina was a bit air, but this bay was actually a very good way to send off Beyblade Burst Rise. Oh yeah, last bay, I just found it. Bushin Shindra, just the air bay. Very easy to knock out, very light, just air. Probably the better bay though out of the vertical drop bay stadium compared to Ace Dragon. And let's see, chat. Let's see. We have got Beyblade Burst Quad Drive and Beyblade Burst Quad Strike, the remaining bays that I have not shown off yet, chat. So yeah, let's get into it. We have got this is the water element. I believe this is titled Pandora. This came with comment and subscribe Helios. And yeah, this bay was probably the weaker bay out of the bunch, and probably the worst slopes for any Pandora bay. If we go into a bay that's a bit better though, I really like Twister though. Twister's probably my favorite Pandora. It was the defense Pandora, I do believe. And this Pandora actually had a very good shape and decent stamina and good defense, you know? And that's what a Pandora should be. Also, another decent Pandora was Lightning Pandora. It did come in the thing with Divine Bellfire. This actually was a good attachment though. That was a good attachment and a decently round shape. This bay wasn't too bad at all. The Pandoras were pretty good. Alright, next bays. Let's go with Rocktavore. Rocktavore came in a set. It was like the Fury String Launcher set. Really got me back into Beyblade, to be honest. The first wave of quad drive. This bay, to be fair, is pretty I would say. Pretty and the String Launcher is pretty trash as well. I wouldn't recommend this one compared to like Glide Rocktavore. Cyclone is just not on the level of a Glide Rocktavore. Other bays here. Got Stone Nemesis, another bay that had so much potential and just could not live up to the hype. These big points right here made it burst 90% of the time, getting destroyed by even the easiest of Beyblades, even losing the dual layer bays. Alright, next bay. There's still plentiful of bays, chat. There's still plentiful of bays. We have got this Bahamut right here. This Bahamut right here came in a single pack for wave 2. A very good bay from TT, a random booster bay. Unfortunately, it did have like a rubber slope. Unfortunately, Hasbro did not do that. It's just a plain plastic generic slope. Alright, who else, chat? Who do you want to see next? Let's go. We'll skip Bellfire and we'll talk about Bellfire later on. Alright, next one. World Night. World Night, the best Beyblade Burst Bay from Hasbro that was not a Pro Series bay. You put this on bearing and it would destroy the competition. Even the stock combo was probably the best quad strike stock combo. This bay was a solid 10 out of 10 for Hasbro quad strike standards. Next one. Prominence Phoenix. Focus camera. Prominence Phoenix. Very low on detail, but another solid bay. Like well, Night. Prominence Phoenix was a very solid Beyblade quad drive bay. It did unfortunately come in a $100 set with Devastate Bellfire, but it was a very solid quad drive bay. Gotta give you hats. Gotta give Phoenix. I'm stuttering, chat. Gotta give some Phoenix some props. Next one. Let's go with Zeal Achilles. Zeal Achilles was in Wave 1 of Beyblade Burst Quad Strike, the final season for Beyblade Burst, and the final Achilles. And yeah, this Achilles, another good bay. Another good bay. This bay did, however, have its weaknesses, right? Obviously, it could easily burst to some bays, and then, yeah, it's also the life after death wasn't the best. The defense was pretty good on this bay, and that was a baddie. It was too light to really do much damage. But this was a very decent balance, I'd say the least. A left spin only bay, so unfortunately not dual spin. The TT one is dual spin, obviously, and the Hasbro one is not. We've got 6 bays left here. Let's go with Bolt Spryzen. Bolt Spryzen, I'm gonna be honest, Bolt Spryzen was probably the biggest letdown. Like, for all the Spryzens that have came before it, this is probably not the most visually appealing Spryzen. Spryzen Requiem or World Spryzen would have been a better send-off than Bolt Spryzen, and unfortunately Hasbro made this a left spin only bay. But this bay does have a very good base that's very, very circular, that has good life after death. The combo is so like it's so like most of these combos are so that Hasbro gave them, and I'm just gonna be honest with that. Next one, we've got Salvage Voltrak. Yeah, we did go over the red one. We'll go over the blue one real quick. I do like the blue color scheme a bit more than the red. I do like the blue and the gold more than the red and the silver. This bay actually had pretty good smash attacks and the quad drive chip was actually very good for burst resistance. This bay was actually very, very solid. Alright, next one, we've got Ultimate Veltrac. This did come in a double pack set with an Divine Excalius. I don't really care about the Divine Excalius too much, but this bay was actually pretty solid. Now, this was a proper way to send off Beyblade Burst in terms of like the last Veltrac. This bay was very, very solid. Unfortunately, like I said, quad drive stuff compared to TT, but we're not going to go on about that. We're just going to talk about what we have. The variable is actually pretty good, chat. Pretty accurate. What's the name? Very good. Very, very clean. This was actually pretty good. It was a lot more controllable than the regular variable. So I'll actually say that this was better than regular variable. And obviously you got Zero, which Zero was actually pretty good for a lot of stuff. Like that was probably the best quad drive / quad strike metal disc. This layer wasn't the best though. So that bay was probably kind of like like it was good. Most of these bays are same with this one right here. Just air attack type all around. Didn't have the best attacks, but it had the stamina. So I would say it was more of a balanced type bay, but on the box it says attack, so it's technically an attack. Even though I'd say this is more of a balanced type Mainline. And for our final two bays out of the quad drive and quad strike arenas, we've got Devastate Bellfire. This did come with Prominence Phoenix. I did pick this up at, I believe, Target? I think it was Target, right? This bay I do like as well. Like, out of like all the stuff, like this is probably the best $100 set that you could get. Twin Optimus is not justifiable by himself, even though that is a really solid bay. Yeah, Destruction, Bellfire, and Promise Phoenix was a pretty good duo right here for Hasbro. I did like the contact points on this bay a lot more than like Salvage Veltrac. I did like that Tri-Wing attack more than, you know, Salvage. Alright, next one. Let's go with Devastate, or is it Defiance? It's one of the two. This was the final Bellfire, came with Room Pandemonium in the Light Ignite Beyblade Burst Stadium. All translucent, I really do like that. And this bay actually pulled it off pretty well with the blue, the red, the pink, the purple. I actually do like the color scheme of this bay. Unfortunately, I kind of wish this was a bit translucent though, these colors, so it could actually work a bit better in the Light Ignite Base Stadium. But that would sum up our Beyblade Burst Quad Drive and Quad Strike bays. Alright, these are our Surge Beyblade Burst bays right here, the remaining ones that we have not shown off yet in today's video. Alright, let's go through them all, chat. There's a decent bit to get to, so let's get to each one individually. Like I said, this is going to be more of a laid back video. So shout out to everyone that requested this video. If you want to see your own video suggestion pop up in a video, you got to comment down below so I can be notified that you want to see that in the future. Alright, let's go with, we'll start off with Super Hyperion and Colossal Helios. Now I did obviously change out the metal disc for the correct metal disc, but yeah, this one right here, Super Hyperion and Colossal Helios, the two brothers battling it out, taking on Lucius in Beyblade Burst Sparking. I actually did like this series quite a bit, but yeah, I do like Helios more than Hyperion. Let me know down in the comments below if you like Helios or Hyperion. I did end up liking Helios a bit more. Less spin balance type bay is a bit more refreshing than the same old rat spin attack type main character bay. Yeah, both bays are pretty good though, but like I said, I did like Helios a bit more. They came in the starter set for Beyblade Burst Hasbro. Alright, next one. We got another Wave 1 bay right here. This was Glide Rock to Vor. It did have the gimmick, chat. It had the gimmick. I know that's crazy for Hasbro, but it did have the gimmick, chat. You know, and that's worth $100 right there at that point. Wheel was actually pretty good, and Metal Revolve. This was actually a very stacked combo. Probably one of the best, if not the best, stamina type Beyblade in Beyblade Burst Surge for Hasbro. For TT, not so much, but this was actually a pretty solid bay. It had a nice round shape with wheel helping out with the outer spin, and then metal on the revolve to really put a nice like upside down triangle of metal as the aerodynamics, which is actually a really smart idea from Hasbro. This bay is a very solid bay. Next one we have got, let's go with Triumph Dragon. This is obviously, you know, a continuation of Command Dragon. This was the bay after Command Dragon. This bay had the heaviest Beyblade burst driver of any Beyblade burst bay from Hasbro, and I still believe it does. Armored's pretty trash. I don't know why they put armor on it. Triumph actually has a really smooth shape, believe it or not, even though it is an attack type, and the chip is very solid. So this is another good bay. This bay and Glide Rocktavor was surprisingly very, very good with the slopes and everything like that. Our next one, let's go Vex Lucius. Now we did do Endbringer. I do like Endbringer a bit more than Lucius, but the thing that Lucius did was it actually had a proper metal disc. And Mobius for Hasbro does have kind of like air stamina. The same with the PT one, to be honest. This bay wasn't too bad, not the best, just a very average bay to say the least. Alright, our next bay, let's go with Infinite Achilles. The main character for Beyblade Burst Turbo comes back into Beyblade Burst Surge. Yeah, very good combo right here. I would say the burst resistance was lacking though, and we did not get a defense mode version of Achilles, which is a big letdown. And also, mine's is broken, chat. Yeah, believe it or not, chat, my one is broken. If you can see right here, see the white right there on it? It actually does not lock in. The chip does not lock in, chat. Like, it doesn't lock in, it doesn't click in. Yeah, this bay, very, very good for the parts, not so much for the layer, I would say, to say the least. I've got 5 Surge bays left right here. Let's go with the Devilosses right here. Alright, these are the Devilosses. Demise Devilos and Abyss Devilos. Abyss Devilos came in a single pack and Demise came in a starter pack. Both bays were very average, to say the least. These were definitely not the best Devilos. The best Devilos, in my opinion, was Venom or Master. I wouldn't say these two were the best Devilos, but they definitely were good continuations for the Devilos. What do you want again? For the Devilos line. Next one we got Rage Lunar. Rage Lunar, 3A Destroy. Metal right here, this was another solid bay. Good upper attack, obviously nothing like the Pro Series bay, but very, very good with the upper smash attacks. Very easy to burst though. But if you put that on Helios though, that Helios chip right there, focus camera. If you put it on that Helios right there, that chip, Raid will get some pretty good smash attacks. I have no clue where my Rage went, but anyway, next one we've got World Surprise, and everyone knows I've got this page, right? If you have not seen it, this video, you should really check it out. It came with Limited and Unite. This was probably the biggest video I've ever done, chat. Like legit, this is still the biggest video on my channel today, and I thank you everyone so much, chat, for supporting that video. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, stuff happens, but yeah, very solid bay actually, really good slopes. It actually dual spinned as well, which was crazy. It had the same dual spin ability as Lord Sprazen, so they continued it, which was a good thumbs up from Hasbro until they wrecked it with Bolt Sprazen. But yeah, this bay, pretty good with the Stowell. Really good Stowell. The Unite with the Limit was too, like, just did not mix with World Sprazen too good. But overall, this bay was very, very solid for the layer, to say the least. It had a good stamina, very good stamina, chat, with the World and the Sprazen chip. And then obviously onto the final bay, which is Evo Helios Breeze Bringer right here. Now this bay obviously doesn't have the limit breaks thing, but this does actually come with the best balance driver for any Beyblade Burst bay in the Surge thing. Once again, this came out in the Motor Strike Bay Stadium. That was really just so many memories, chat, for this channel. The Beyblade Burst Surge stuff really helped us, chat, put us on the map, really. Certify the channel as definitely a channel to watch out for. And this one right here with the Zone Plus Z chip, very, very solid and outer. Probably the best left spin bay of Beyblade Burst Surge. and for a couple of years it was one of the best stock combo left spin bays in Beyblade Burst. Okay. We have got our turbo lineup. Our turbo was a very mixed bag. We did miss out on metal, but we did get a lot of the gimmicks, to be fair. So I'm not sure if it was a negative or a positive. Beyblade Burst Turbo really emphasized a level up for Gas Fafnir with the spin stealing, a level down for Brutal Luminor and the Luminor lineup, and also introduced burst lockers, the turbo beys, and also the second burst gimmick where you have to burst our Phoenix twice in order to defeat Phoenix. That was another big deal right there. Also other good beys like Hercules and Amaterios were in this wave. But yeah, let's start off, chat, with Brutal Luminor. Alright, so Brutal Luminor came out in wave 1. I did find this at Toy World, I do believe. And this came with 13 jolts. The jolt wasn't too bad, chat. It was just a little bit of a weaker version of Extreme, so we didn't really need it. I feel like this bag could have been really good because I understand what they were trying to do, like a nice little combo attack with like 4 devastating blows in a row to a bay. But this bag just didn't really get off the ground. I do like it, but it didn't get off the ground, chat. Like, I'm gonna be honest, it did not get off the ground at all. And yeah, it was a bit of a letdown, to be fair, chat. And yeah, this is probably the worst Luminor. It's not a bad Luminor, it's probably the weakest Luminor outside of Sway. But yeah, it did leave a mark on the Luminor lineup that could never be really recovered. Our next one we're gonna go with is Marigna. Now, I did find this on clearance. The loop is actually pretty good, and I do actually like this Marigna. This Marigna has some pretty good contact points right here, where as you can see, it actually has some bumps in the defense of Marigna, which allows it to slowly unlock the slopes from another Beyblade Burst bay when it is battling that bay, which means it can actually defend and burst the bay at the same time. So whenever you're facing Marigna, you're always going to be careful because you may be thinking, oh, it's got barely stamina, but it's actually defending, and on top of that, it is slowly, just slowly wearing down the bay that it is up against, which is actually really solid for a bay like Marigna. Now, obviously, we did get some kind of air Hasbro exclusive releases like Cyclops and Regeki. I forgot what this bay was called, to be honest. But Cyclops and this Hasbro exclusive were really a letdown. The main point with these two bays was legit Fusion S. Fusion Slingshot was a really good driver for like fun play. I did enjoy using Fusion S quite a lot for fun, but other than that, these two bays were kind of a letdown compared to some of the other Hasbro exclusives that we're going to see, like Ogre. Ogre was actually a very tight Beyblade Burst Turbo Bay. This bay was actually pretty hard to burst, and it actually had some very good hit contact points. As you can see, just the classic 3-wing design. We've seen it on Pegasus, we've seen it on Monster Ogre, we've seen it on Valtrak, we've seen it on a whole bunch of other bays like Fafnir and stuff. But the tri-wing attack, chat, the triangle shape just works, chat. It just works. It's very good. And this bay came in a single pack as well with a tight Jackie spring. This is a very solid bay. I really feel like this was a better bay than Turbo Valtrak in terms of like 1v1 battle. I do believe that Turbo Valtrak would lose to that bay in a 1v1. Next bays here. We still got some wave 1 stuff to get through. So let's go through this one right here. Let's go Emperor Fornius. Emperor Fornius did have I did like this yard a bit more than the regular yard. Zero was pretty good, but the slopes were just terrible, and a weak spring as well to go with it. It was very burst prone, to say the least. And yeah, with the burst prone defense type bay, you want stuff that, you know, can sit in the center rather than, you know, just get bursted in like a couple of hits. Alright, next ones, we've got more wave 1 stuff. We've got Wonder Valtrak, the original color. This bay was just such a step down compared to a bay like the blue Wonder Valtrak that came in the single pack. I much rather get that one over this one. And this one wasn't bad, however, at all. It was just weaker spring, weaker slope than the blue one. And same with the red Achilles right here. These two were just better than the originals. They came in the Slingshot Stadium. These were better. The starter set ones were better in terms of battles and stuff like that. These ones were tighter. They had a tighter spring and they had better slopes. This red Z Achilles I actually did like a lot because it reminded me of like the evil Z Achilles stuff that was happening in the Beyblade Burst show at the time. And this blue Veltrack wasn't terrible at all. Had very good tight slopes and was my preferred choice when I have to pick a Veltrack in the Beyblade Burst Turbo lineup. It was definitely a bay that I chose to use. Next one, we have got Crash Rock the Wall. Crash Rock the Wall, probably the most forgettable Rock the Wall. Very much a pain in the ass to get on the launcher. The wedge, I do like this wedge quite a lot. It's got a little bit of a spring in it, which means it could actually like absorb a tiny bit of attacks and offense from the opponent's bay. But yeah, this bay just wasn't that good. Like, see this contact point right here? It bursted every time I got hit with that contact point right there. And yeah, this bay was probably the worst Rock the Wall out of the bunch. Now, who should we see next? Let's go Right Artemis right here. Right Artemis came in the $100 set with Left Apollo. Right Artemis, not bad at all. The main gimmick, obviously, of this was you could take Left Apollo and Right Artemis, and you could, like, you know, choose which thing you wanted. You know, like, did you want a left spin? Did you want a right spin? Did you want half of Apollo's, half of Artemis? This came with 6 Jaggy. This bay did have a better stock combo than Left Apollo's. I do believe I swapped out Left Apollo's driver because I hate that needle driver. The needle slingshot was absolutely terrible and it would just scratch up the stadium. So this bay was actually better than Apollo's stock combo, which I know I don't normally say about right spin bays being better than left spin bays, but at the time it was better. It was better. Let's go Hazard Kirbyus now. Hazard Kirbyus, I do believe was a Wave 3 or Wave 2 Beyblade Burst Turbo Bay. This bay was actually very solid. The gimmick actually worked. Now, the original one did break, which was a bit of a letdown. I do like this design as well. It's probably one of the better Kirby's designs right here. We got the main Cerberus head in the center, and then you got the 2 on the side right there, actually displaying a proper Cerberus. I did like this one quite a lot. And the Spring 7 and Atomic, this was my favorite Kirby's by far. Alright, next one. Let's go with Archer Hercules. Archer Hercules 13 Eternal. Obviously this Eternal is nothing compared to the Pro Series Eternal, but this base still had plenty of stamina and still was one of the best Beyblade Burst Turbo Slingshot bays at the time when it got released in Wave 2. This bay's gimmick was when it was spinning it would come out and then it would slowly come in, trying to give it more center gravity in the later stages of the matchup to try to get it to spin a bit longer. And it worked, chat. It worked. And you'd think these big contact points would make it more burst prone, but no, it was actually pretty solid and pretty hard to burst. Archer Hercules, one of the better Beyblade Burst bays. Now the next one, we have got Heat Salamander right here. Heat Salamander did have the Operate driver, which you could switch it into attack and defense. Defense was just a standard ball tip. Nothing too crazy with that. And then with attack, you could actually make it off balance and it would actually hop around quite a lot. Now, obviously, the attack one, the attack mode was very, very fun, but it was not practical at all and it would lose just about every matchup in attack mode. Your best bet against an opponent would be defense mode on Salamander. And also, you could change this bay into 5-wing or 10-wing depending on what you want. So as you can see right here, we got it in 10-wing. Now all you gotta do is just flick this like this, put it up, flick it back up, and that is your 5-bladed design. And unfortunately for this though, it did have a problem where the lock would never actually work and it would just pop it back out. But it was actually pretty good. I did like the 5-bladed design. That was obviously more for your attack type Operate driver. And then obviously if you switch into defense, you should really have the 10-blade mode. That was more for a defensive style of play. Okay, our next lot right here, we got 5 right here. These were like the big, like how can I say, the big 5 Beyblade Burst Turbo bays to get in that year. That is for sure. We got Amaterios, which I dropped obviously. Amaterios right here was a rare bay, get battle bay, very desirable, has the gimmick and has all the exclusive parts that came with that rare bay get battle. I do actually like this driver, although it does hit the top of the stadium and it goes completely out of control and then loses all of its stamina. But yeah, this bay was very solid. I think it was like less than 20 bucks, so it was actually pretty good. Especially when like the rare bay get the better one was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Our next one we would say is probably Guy's Fafnir, right? Guy's Fafnir, they brought back the gimmicks around about Vice Leopard and Guy's Fafnir Wave. Obviously the talking head right there. No rubber, unfortunately, but they did try with this like rigid right here, which did not work. And the absorb was too like tight of a spring to do anything. And yeah, this bag kind of spin sealed. It didn't really though. It did not really. Alright, our last three turbo bays. We've got Dead Phoenix, Turbo Spryzen, and Turbo Achilles. We'll go with Turbo Veltrack. We'll go with Dead Phoenix right here. Dead Phoenix obviously had the same gimmick as every Phoenix, where the armor could come off. You know, make it more round, make it harder to burst, and you'd ideally have to burst the armor first. Now, obviously, there is occasions where this bay would burst with the armor on, but not all the time. 10 and Friction. Friction, I did have problems with Friction. Like, Friction, for some weird reason, would just go into Slingshot mode just on a whim, which was a bit sucky, but 10, a very solid part. I think that was the first time we saw 10, was on Revive Phoenix, and I was glad they carried it over to Dead Phoenix. Dead Phoenix, probably the better bay out of the two, in terms of Revive up against Dead. And then for our final two turbo bays, we've got Turbo Veltrack and Turbo Achilles. Now, Turbo Veltrack, this was when they were doing stuff with like Dead Hades and Turbo Veltrack, where they were in the Switch Strike line, but they were Beyblade Burst Turbo. It was a whole weird thing. But surprisingly, chat, we did not get the rubber though on the Zenith, but at least we got Zenith. We got Evolution for the first time, which was just a better variable. Like, I don't care what anyone says, chat. It was a better variable. And then here's the code. But yeah, basically the whole point of the turbo layers is if you launched hard enough, chat, these blades would pop out, right? And as you can see, this third blade right here has a point sticking out, which means statistically it would block you from getting bursted. Now, obviously, if someone hit you hard enough, you would just burst anyway, right? Like, it would just pop in the wing, like so, and you'd burst anyway. But at least the concept was there. That was for sure. That was probably the worst turbo bay from Hasbro out of the bunch. Like, out of Turbo Achilles, Turbo Spryzen, and Turbo Veltrack, I believe Turbo Veltrack was the worst one out of the bunch, even though it wasn't a turbo bay, and it's technically a Switch Strike bay, but whatever. This one right here, we got Turbo Achilles, big slash attacks from Turbo Achilles. Obviously, same thing with the gimmick. It's a little harder to flick up, so I'm not going to demonstrate that. This was the first bit of Double O, which was the heaviest metal disc at the time. And then you got Dimension Slingshot. Dimension Slingshot was a little bit of a letdown, but it had decent life after death to make up for that. Alright, that's our Beyblade Burst Turbo stuff. Let's go down now to our single layers, and then we'll finish off with dual layer, then god layer. Okay, so we're going back to the start here, and we have got the epic Season 1 bays. Now, this is what started all for Beyblade Burst. Obviously, we started off with Spryzen and Veltrack as the first two TT releases. Spryzen Spread Fusion right here was the first Beyblade Burst Bay outside of Veltrack V1 in terms of like official release dates for TT. This came with Spread Fusion. It was just a decent benchmark for a Spryzen, and obviously nothing compared to the Spryzens that we got at the end, but a decent Spryzen none the least. Spread was very good at the time. Fusion, still decently good, and yeah, not a bad bay at all. Our next one right here, we'll go with Horosu. Now, I don't have the original, that's for sure. I do not have the original Horosu, but Horosu wasn't too bad either. A big problem with it though is the balance issues, and obviously Edge did not help that at all. Spread, once again, not a bad disc at all for the time, but yeah, just not that great. This was not that great, to be honest. Our next bay, let's go with Unicorn. Unicorn Ring Defense. Unicorn, one of my favorite single layer bays right here. Very, very good defense with Unicorn. And yeah, Ring, not the best though. Too hollowed out. But yeah, not a bad bay at all. Obviously, its teammate Yedrion. A lot of people like Yedrion at the time. Not anymore. People probably don't even know what a Yedrion is anymore. But this is Yedrion U1. Once again, Ring and Edge. This was probably the worst combo compared to like a bay like Unicorn out of the two. But yeah, not a bad bay. just edge is not the best, but it's got a tight spring, so it makes up for itself in some regards. Now you're thinking, oh, I'll show off Excalius next. No, I'm saving that for last, chat. I'm saving that for last in this section here. Like I said, I'll be counting up all the Beyblade Burst Bays at the end when we've reviewed all the Beyblade Burst Bays and looked through them all. Rock the Wall R1 came with Nepstrius N1, and Nepstrius N1 was one of those bays that had really good like shape, but just got let down by, you know, the slopes. The slopes were absolutely terrible on Nepstrius, and then Heavy survived. This was probably the best Hasbro Stamina Bay for a while. That was for sure. It was better than Rock the Wall R2, that was for sure. We've only got a couple of bays left. There wasn't too many single layer Beyblades in Beyblade Burst that I have, at least for now. We have the Hasbro Minoboros, if the camera wants to focus. Very nice. Brown. I didn't like this one as much as the TT color. The TT color looked a little bit better, and the Quake was bigger on the TT one, at least from what I've seen. Oval, probably the worst metal disc. This bay was kind of to be honest, but it was fun. It was fun. The oval on top of the Quake was just not ideal for that bay. Next one, we got Treptune, which was a bay that never actually had, I don't think it was in the manga or anything. It was just a bay that popped up in, I think, like Random Booster 1 or 2 of Beyblade Burst. This was a Stamina Bay, but it was off balance, just like the Chozetsu one, which was the Tied Treptune. Obviously, for sharing that Coco would have this bay. Obviously, it came with claws ahead of its time in terms of like even having a gimmick. And there was no gimmicks in Beyblade Burst at this time. Yeah, a bay that's decent. Probably more of a balanced bay than a Stamina Bay, to be fair, with the shape of the layer. Our next one will go to Odin. Odin Heavy Revolve was a top tier combo back in the day because of how smooth Odax was. Now we've got Central and Blow right here. Central and Blow. Blow's pretty good. Central's pretty good. A little off balance though with Central, but this was actually a very solid bay. Very good bay. More of a balanced type, like Bellfire, I would say, is more of a balanced type as well compared to a bay like that. Alright, our last three, we got iPyro. Now I did pick up this bay as probably like the last single layer that I picked up, and it is worth the money, chat. Wing and Needle, you're thinking, oh, that's not the best, but this bay was very hard to burst. All the iPyros are very hard to burst, and the shape was actually pretty defensive to a point where, just like with Marigna, when you hit it, you had a risk of bursting, and it was very good at bursting bays that were attacking it, and that was a very solid bay. You know, I kind of wish we got more evolutions of iPyro. And of course we've got Wyvern, chat. Wakia, Murasaki, Armored, and Massive. I wasn't a big fan of this one, to be fair. I wasn't a big fan of this one compared to like stuff that came out with it, but it wasn't a bad bay. And obviously my favorite single layer is Excalius X1. Excalius X1, this was Force Extreme. This did come in a double pack. It was actually a very solid bay. It came in a double pack. I did get it at Kmart with the blue Rockivore, which I think we've already seen. Yes, we already have seen that. But yeah, not a bad bay at all. Like I said, not a bad bay at all. And yeah, not bad at all. Probably, like I said, probably the best Beyblade single layer. My favorite one, at least. Very good on attack. That is for sure. Force Extreme. Extreme, still a top tier part to this day. But that is all the Beyblade Burst single layers. Let's move on to the dual layers. Okay, chat. So we got the dual layer bays. Now, these are all bays that I have outside of certain ones. I should have done this earlier, but apparently I decided to just do them randomly. So there is a couple missing here, but they were earlier in the video. As you can see right here, we've got plenty of dual layers right here. Now you may be thinking, you may be looking at the iFritter and saying, why is that there? Well, this is actually the iFritter with the merge and liner. Now, originally, I did have the original color, as you saw, but it is broken. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. So I just used that one instead when I use it. But yeah, that's probably the worst dual layer. This is the worst dual layer bay, without a shadow of a doubt. The liner is the worst driver of all time in Beyblade Burst. Obviously, we got introduced to our first lesson bay in Beyblade Burst Season 2, which is the dual layer bays. These are the dual layers. And we got some remake bays. And we actually had some decent, like, kind of gimmicks that weren't really gimmicks at the same time. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Wave 1 stuff. Wave 1, we got introduced to Victory Valtrak, which bursted, obviously. That was my experimental Victory Valtrak that got wore down a lot. That was in the starter set. So we got Victory Valtrak. We also got another Victory Valtrak, Kirbyus, Rocktivore, and a Spryzen. That was our Wave 1. We also did get another Spryzen, which was a better looking one, to be fair. But yeah, we'll look at the starter set one first. So this one came in the yellow Beyblade Burst starter set. Came with boost and variable. Variable, a very uncontrollable driver when you wore it down, and a very below average driver when you had it fully intact. Veltrack, not bad, just really lacking on stamina and very, very hard to control without having a soft launch with it. Okay, next one. Let's go on to the other Veltrack. Same thing, chat, with this one, but this one came with a starter set, so you can tell the difference obviously by the wing colors of these Veltracks right here. This one's a lot more worn down as well, and this one has been through a lot, so the slopes aren't as good as what it used to be. Yeah, next one up, the King Kirbyus. Shout out Pickle Show Guy once again, man. Yeah, this Kirbyus right here, this is OG limited press right here. Probably the best Wave 1 bay for Hasbro, at least. Very hard to burst for a Wave 1 bay, that was for sure. Our next one will go Rising Rocktavore. Probably a bay that could have been easily forgotten if Hasbro and TT didn't do what they did on the show. If they just had let it have one season run, you wouldn't even remembered this bay, you know? Gravity and Revolve. My Revolve is broken. It happens, chat. It happens, alright? It's been around for over 10 years. It's gonna break. Some stuff's gonna break on some stuff, okay? But yeah, Gravity probably was a real step up in the metal disc. No, it was a big step up in the metal disc game. Gravity being the heaviest metal disc when this bay dropped. And obviously the final Wave 1 bay was Spryzen S2. Spryzen S2 had Knuckle and Unite. Obviously this is a lot worn down and the slopes aren't good. This was probably my favorite bay to use out of Wave 1, but I will have to say that King Kirbyus was the best Wave 1 pack. This was actually the first Beyblade that I ever got from Beyblade Burst, so this one is very special to me. Okay, so Wave 2, we did have a different pace of stuff, I do believe. So Wave 2 had Wild Wyvern and Doomslicer, which we do not have on us right now because I reviewed them before. So we'll go on to Wave 3 here, which I do believe was Excalius, Nova Neptune, Zillion Zeutron, and Behemoth. No, that must be wrong. So this was actually Wave 2. My bad, chat. Wave 2, we did have Horror Suit actually. I think there was one other bay as well. Horror Suit, and who else could it have been? It must have been someone else. But yeah, Horror Suit, right here, Horror Suit. Not a bad bay at all. Stamina type bay. Holy Horror Suit. Upper, a metal disc that never really took off. Claw wasn't good anymore when this bay came out. And yeah, decent look though. I do like the blue mixed with the yellow on Holy Horror Suit. We'll just go one by one now, chat. I think that's just the easiest way to go for it. I don't know why I tried to spice it up. Just go one by one by showing each bay. Nova Neptrius, like I said with the Recolor one, it is better than the TT one in terms of like the combo. I do like the Zapper a lot more than the Trance Driver. And yeah, this bay actually has some pretty good combo attacks. Zapper really easy to control if you know what you're doing with it. Our next bay, we got Behemoth. This was a bay that's the complete opposite, right? It had little stamina, very hard to control, heavy, and hold. This was a bay that I just didn't really like, to be honest. Alright, what else do we have here, chat? We have got Kanox, alright? So Kanox, right here, Kanox C1, focus camera, Kanox C1 with some decent upper attacks. It's got Oval and Gyro. Now, Gyro was a driver that was actually pretty underrated in my opinion. It should have got a lot more use than what it did. It was just a free spinning survive tip, which means it was better than survive, but people just didn't use it for some weird reason. I felt like it was also better than Revolve. Yeah, very thick right there with some gaps. So obviously this isn't the best layer for Gyro, but it is a pretty good layer for stuff like Recoil and other stuff. What else do we have? We've got Minoboros, Mad Minoboros this time around, chat. Same layer as Mad Minoboros from TT, the one that we just showed. Although this one has a green tilt to it, so I kind of like this, to be honest, like Hasbro changing it up a bit. Knuckle and Jaggy is a better combo as well. This is a lot better combo than the TT one. That's all I can really go off because we didn't really get this in the show at all. And yeah, the thickness is pretty good on it as well. Who else do we have, chat? Who else do we have? Fang Fenrir came in that stupidly expensive Electric Stadium from TT, so this was actually a really good way to get it. It was in a double pack with a random recolor bay, I believe, right? Oh no, it was Jail Jumangun that it came out with, which was actually a very solid double pack at the time. Boost Jaggy, that's all you really needed. in that era, chat. Boost and Jaggy was just a good, solid attack type combo. Next one, we got Army Odax. Army Odax, one of my favorite right spin attack type bays that I wish got a bit more love and credit than what it currently does. Now, Odax with the swords, obviously this guy was really cool. Triple and Extreme. Extreme, one of the better drivers. Also, Army Odax's owner could hear the clicking of the bays, so he knew exactly when they were about to burst. So yeah, very solid bay to say the least. Alright, next one, we got Uber Unicrest, which was obviously an upgrade from the Unicrest U1 that you saw, chat. And yeah, this one, a lot more detail, as you can see. A lot more detail that you can see. I like this color scheme a lot better than the TT1 as well. Down and Needle, which is kind of alright. They weren't really crazy. This bay was just kind of average, to be fair. But the design was very, very solid, and it was unique for the time. Okay, next one we have got is Gigaon Quarter Fusion. Now this bay is actually very, very solid, chat. Very solid bay right here. Gigaon Quarter and Fusion. And yeah, this bay very hard to beat. More of a defensive bay than a balanced bay in my opinion. But this bay had really good slopes. Very, very strategic with the bursting. It know how to get a bay to burst all the time back in the dual layer era, especially in the show. Very, very powerful bay. Now we're going to the remakes here. Obviously we've seen the remakes being done multiple times, but this wasn't as actually special. This was like the first time for remakes, chat, and we got the 2 plastic remakes. Now these were the only 2 plastic remakes that actually came out in Australia with their original colors outside of that Dracil that was in like that $80 set that I didn't want to get, and I was waiting for the double pack because I was like, I can get it with Dronza F. Never came out those ones. These were the only 2 double pack bays that come out. And it was a good way to get a blue Extreme Unite and a white Extreme. This is actually the best Extreme in my opinion. It was just something about that Extreme that just felt better than a regular Extreme. Alright, we got 6 bays left. This was actually a very solid series. I would say this was actually a good way to really prop up Beyblade Burst Evolution. This is more like the stepping stone. Without Beyblade Burst dual layers, Beyblade Burst Evolution would not be as big as it is. And this was the perfect way to transcend this into Beyblade Burst Evolution. That's why people believe Beyblade Burst Evolution is so good, which it is. But you also got to give credit to the dual layers for keeping a momentum put into Evolution. Because without that momentum, Beyblade Burst Evolution would not be regarded as high as it is in today's day and age. Next one, we got Quetzalcoatl, which is actually a former friend of Xander Shockadera, and now a rival right here. He comes with Jerk Press. He did come on a random booster, so obviously thumbs up for Hasbro for an affordable way to get him without just crossing your fingers that you're going to pull him. This bay, you know, it was weird. It was weird, chat. It had an attack type shape with defensive capabilities. And yeah, pretty good slopes as well. This bay actually was better than Xeno Excalibur in the dual layers, that is for sure. Not in the show, obviously, but in real life, it was the better bay, like 100%. And talk about Xeno Excalibur, let's talk about Xeno Excalibur right now. Xeno Excalibur Merge Impact. This bay actually has really bad slopes. I'm not sure if I just got a bad one, but this bay actually has really bad slopes for a bay like Xeno Excalibur. You think, oh, it would be better, but no, it's not. It's got really bad slopes, which means when it gets hit, it loses just about every time, and it even loses to its predecessor, Excalius X1. Alright, we've got 4 bays left. Let's go with Atlas Anubis. Atlas Anubis came with Yell, a big shake-up in the meta with Yell and Orbit. Orbit was very, very necessary, and we were waiting for it. We missed out on Wild Wyvern getting Orbit. It came with Massive instead, so we were waiting for Hasbro to drop Orbit, and they decided to do it with Atlas Anubis. Atlas Anubis was the second last Beyblade Burst dual layer to come out for Hasbro, and yeah, this wasn't a bad bay. The slopes were a bit air, but the slopes needed to be air, or this bay would have been too OP, because Atlas Anubis, very round, got great outer weight right there, and the Orbit right there, and just a very solid bay for defense. And yeah, this was probably the best defense bay that we had at that time, for sure. It was one of the better bays, outside like Tempest Wyvern that came out as well. But yeah, neck and neck, one of the best defense dual layers, and one of the best Beyblade Burst Season 2 bays of all time. Now, obviously, we can say that regard for either one of these 3 bays that we're looking at right now. We went to Zoya Zutron, which was actually the first bay to have a gimmick on the layer. Obviously, the 2 balls would stick out to give it more spin at the start, and then they would come in kind of like Archer Hercules but on a lower level. Also we had Weight right here. Weight never really took off. I didn't really like this one either. And Infinity, I didn't really like those too much. But Zillion Zutron, another bear that I kind of wish got more love but did not, unfortunately. Alright, Gerald Drumagun right here. Gerald Drumagun. This was a bear that definitely deserved an upgrade that never got an upgrade. Very solid layer from Hasbro, and the cycle driver was also good. Like I said with Infinite's just kind of air. But yeah, those two things really propelled this base to be very, very good for Hasbro. We're talking Giga level at the time. We're talking a bay that could outspin Drain Fafnir. Like, this bay was very, very powerful at the time. And that leads us to the final bay of the Burst Season 2 dual layers. We have got Lost Luinor 9 Spiral. Yes, my Spiral is worn down to the shitter, but that is A-okay. This was the first bay to introduce metal on the layer, and the first attack type Beyblade that was a left spin, and the first left spin burst bay in the Beyblade Burst show. This bay destroyed everyone, actually defeated a lot of opponents, chat. I don't want to spoil if he won Season 1 or not, because obviously that was the final matchup against Volt Aoi. But yeah, very powerful blade. This was what Louis, they should have continued this power with Louis having all this power, and they kind of fumbled it in the later seasons. Past, like when we got to Season 3, he was a shell of what he used to be. But yeah, this was absolutely a powerhouse at the time. Alright, we have got Beyblade Burst Evolution, the biggest Beyblade thing. If you look at Google Trends, if you look at any statistics, chat, Beyblade Burst Evolution was the peak of Beyblade Burst in terms of people, you know, getting into the hobby, getting into collecting them, battling them, tournaments, everything. This was the pinnacle, chat. Beyblade Burst Evolution right here. Obviously some distribution problems happened. Wave 1 was extremely a pain in the ass to get. Arc Belcash and Boom Kalzar came out middle of Beyblade Burst Turbo. That was very weird. But yeah, we'll start off with the Starstorm Bay Stadium bays, which was Genesis Valtrak and Kinetic Saturn. Now, Kinetic Saturn was always a very below average bay in Beyblade Burst Evolution. It came with 260 glaive. They also introduced frames in this, which they didn't continue after this season. It was very much a one season thing. They didn't really continue with the frames too much outside of stuff like the proof frame, and that was about it, really and truly. So they didn't really make that a focus after this season at all. This bay was just very average. It did introduce rollers though as a defense. It didn't really work, to be honest. It made it burst more because the bay would attack and slam into this side, which would just make it burst more. And then obviously a bay like Genesis Valtrak right here, just the mainstay, chat. Like, you have to have a mainstay bay, and this was that, you know. This came in the Starstorm Bay Stadium, had Reboot. Reboot was a very, you know, very game-changing part at the time. Obviously, it'd just be like a regular Excel, and then when it's losing spin, it would go in like this, and it would go insanely fast. Obviously, a bound gimmick, which is honestly better for defense than an attack-type bay, so it made it a bit more prone to burst. But yeah, not a bad bay at all. Other stuff that we got in Wave 1 was Blaze Rockdivore right here. Not a bad bay. Better than Saturn. A little bit worse than Genesis Valtrak. It came with 4 Flow Flugel. Flow was probably one of the better frames that came out in Wave 1 outside of a bay that we're going to talk about next. And yeah, this bay had a gimmick where if you launched it, that would come out. And that's about it, really. It didn't really offer too much, even though they were claiming it did, but it really didn't do too much. And then obviously the final bay in Wave 1, which was ridiculous at the time. Wave 1 was Tempest Wyvern, a perfect counter for Drain Fafnir, which we did review Drain Fafnir earlier on in the video. But yeah, a bay that is just absolutely ridiculous. Free spinning frame, free spinning layer, to be fair, which made it really hard to hit. And then you had 460 glaive. Glaive was the top tier frame at the time. And then we had Atomic. This was the perfect counter for Drain Fafnir, and really kept Drain Fafnir in check. And yeah, that was what you needed, chat. You needed a bay that kept Drain Fafnir in check, because obviously if Drain Fafnir has no competitor, it will just dominate the meta, which it did for a little bit. At Season 2, Season 2 of the anime, like I said, this was a big thing. We had Snake Pit stuff. I didn't really get into the Snake Pit stuff. Yeah, it was just too much stuff. I can't keep track of everything, to be honest, chat. But yeah, like I said, Legend Surprise in the first dual spin bay, we had the first bay that could hand spin, which was Drain Fafnir. And we had a bunch of other bays. So let's start off now with the Battle Tower Beyblade right here. This was Twin Noctimus. It could go in upper mode and smash mode right here, which means that this would switch along and this would have that contact point, and we have upper and a downer. Obviously the upper mode is better in my opinion, which is obviously how it looks right now. It came with 2 Jaggy. Now originally the anime combo was three like hits or 3 hunts. I think it was hunt that was the frame. No, hit was the frame, I think. And then Jaggy was the other part. But yeah, not a bad bay at all. A bay that's very underrated, that deserves more recognition. Unfortunately, it is locked behind a $100 paywall with the Battle Tower Bay Stadium. And yeah, I'm assuming that's just going off at this point. Next one, look at Ultra Cognite. Ultra Cognite had a Cocky as his like pet, which is absolutely ridiculous. I love that. And then this guy had a gimmick. Obviously, we finally got Trance as well, and Star was a pretty good frame as well. Yeah, Ultra Cognite had an ultimate stamina mode and an ultimate attack mode, where basically you could use the layer, and it had a black bit like this, where you could make it off balance or off balance or balanced. Obviously, the blue means balance, and the red would mean off balance. Obviously, the best mode, same with like Heat Salamander, was obviously the balance mode on this bay. Okay, next bay we've got, let's go with Crusher Doomsizer D3 right here. Camera's got to start focusing. We got 2 Vortex Hunter right here. I actually like this bay a lot. I know people give this bay a lot of shit, but this bay was actually pretty good. Obviously, the gimmick doesn't work. Like come on, like what's that, chat? That's not doing anything. The gimmick does not work, but it looks amazing. Like really get a look at that, chat. That is ridiculously good looking. That is for sure. Great design on that bay and pretty good burst resistance as well. Next one we have got Asteroid Zootron. Asteroid Zootron. Yeah, this is gonna be a big video, chat. Has 4-star revolve, and yeah, obviously not anime color accurate. This is Hasbro just trying to make amends with the fans, because they got the fans very upset because they didn't put metal balls in the Asteroid Zootron. Okay, next one we've got Bell Cache right here. Arc Bell Cache. All the Bell Caches are solid besides that GT one, whatever that one is. 2 Bump Atomic. Now, obviously, you can already tell, chat, it is ridiculously good. It's got Atomic, Bump, and it's a defense type left spin with the Bahamut layer. This bay had it all. Had it all, really did. Really did. This was a solid bay. Very hard to burst. I don't think we saw this bay burst much either. And yeah, that's a really good thing to see with a bay like this. You need a solid defense left spin bay, especially with stuff like Nightmare Luminor coming out the same year. Spraz and Requiem, you need that balance, chat. You need that defense to take on those attack type left spins. Now, our next one is Maximum Garuda right here. Maximum Garuda is a perfect circle Beyblade that is ridiculously hard to burst. It came with 8, what's this one? Vortex? I believe that's Vortex, right, chat? And Flugel. Now, the combo is pretty average, but the layer is what you bought it for, chat. This was the biggest layer at the time. Before all the bays started looking this size, this was the biggest layer at the time by a decent margin. As you can see, if we bring Shelter Regulus, right here, if we bought Shelter Regulus, you can see the difference. You can see the size difference, chat. This was big at the time, and yeah, this bay dominated the meta for a while. Next one, we got Shelter Regulus. This is my boy right here, Shelter Regulus. A bay that, to be honest, does not get enough credit. Shelter Defense, Fang Attack, Tower did break a lot for a lot of people. I never had that problem. And it came with 5-star, obviously the 5th member, and the weakest link in the Big 5. But obviously a member of the Big 5 is obviously a good bay, regardless, obviously, okay? Now we've got 2 bays left for our Beyblade Burst lineup. We're going to start off with Boom Color. We have to save Requiem for last. That bay just shook up everything. Okay, so we've got Boom Color here, where basically when it got slower and it was about to burst, it would become more gold and it would have more power statistically. It did come with 7, which is a really good metal disc. It came with Hunter, which is average, and then Under was just alright as well. Like, this was just kind of alright bay. The layer really did good though. I did like the layer quite a bit, especially the colors were a lot more vibrant than what we were used to. And now we got Sprazin Requiem right here. The bay, the Achilles heel chap of Beyblade Burst. First dual spin, rubber, Zero came out, that was the heaviest bit at the time. It had Zeta, I swapped it out because it broke, chap. And then we have rubber right here, so rubber, metal in the middle, Zero, just all heaviness, chat. This bay dominated near the end of Beyblade Burst Evolution and also destroyed a lot of Beyblade Burst Turbo bays. That is it for the Beyblade Burst stuff. We're going to move on to the Beyblade X stuff. I'll give you the number real quick. I'll just cut and count them all up. So that was 169 Beyblade Burst bays, not including recolors. So yeah, hopefully everyone's keeping score. I want to leave it up to you, the viewer chat. How many bays do we have in the collection? Be sure to comment down below the final tally. Alright, on to the Beyblade Burst Beyblade X recolors, and then we'll go on to the BX and then the UX. These are our remake bays right here. Now there's not that many, chat. There's only like a couple. I mainly get the mainline bays, like I said, but these are our 2 remake bays. We got Dronzores, which came out in the first wave of Beyblade X, BX, which means it's technically a BX, but then what does that make? Something like Lightning Outrigger. So we just put them in the remake section, chat. So this is a remake of the plastic gen, obviously Dronzer X remake. I did put the sticker on wrong back then. 380 taper. This bay can pull out some surprising knockouts, to be fair, and it is not a bad bay at all. It's just very light, and you know, TT likes to make sure that the remake bays aren't as good as the official bays. And then if we go on to Lightning Outrigger right here, which is our second left spin bay, it comes with 160 and flat. You're gonna need Cobalt Dragoon to launch this bay at the moment. 160 flat, and yeah, unfortunately I did not get the mode that I wanted out of the thing, but it's a-okay. 160 is very hard to burst flat. This bay actually has some very good life after death. It's better at life after death than a bay like Cobalt Dragoon, but obviously you're weighing out the fact that this bay is lighter than Cobalt Dragoon. So obviously in a matchup against Cobalt Dragoon, it'd probably lose. But these 2 remakes are very solid. For the only 2 remakes I have, I'm very happy with them. So yeah, add that to the tally. That is 2 remake bays. We've got the exclusive stuff, wink wink, it's not really exclusive. We have got Talon Pereira Swing, and Knife Shinobi and Steel Samurai. So really and truthfully, these should be more like these are like Hasbro exclusives that TT's kind of making. So they're just kind of like, I don't even know what they are really, chat, to be honest. They're just side bays, I believe, right? Talon Pereira Orange. This came with 380 ball, a very bad combo for a very male layer. I much prefer this combo that TT has, which is Pereira Swing 770, and I believe that's ball, right? But it's a weird type of ball. It's a very weird type of ball. But this is a better combo. It's a lot harder to burst because of that 70 ratchet, and also the ball feels a bit better on this one. It's weird, but it's true. But these ones are very solid. I like the TT1 more. Now, if we go into Knife Shinobi right here, this is 480 high needle. This bay actually can pull out some very surprising wins, just like its UX big sister, which is Shinobi Shadow, which is very cool, just like this one. They're both very, very funny to use. They can pull out some just random wins right there. And then we have got Steel Samurai right here, which is 480 taper. Yeah, this is probably the best exclusive in terms of like what I've got. And yeah, it's just a fun bay. It's a little bit worse than like the bay that's remolded after, which is Leon Claw. But by all means, it's definitely a solid Beyblade X bay, and that is 4 exclusive, or whatever you want to call them, bays. Add it to the tally. Recolored bays. These bays came in like deck sets. We're talking random boosters and like double packs. So we'll get these Kill Sharks out of the way. These Kill Sharks are not too bad. These are just a Hasbro and a TT1 right here. This comes with 380 flat. This is just alright. Obviously it's not as good as the original colored one, but it's not bad. It's definitely a decent substitute if you do not have the purple one right there. We'll also go into, let's go into our Sphinx Cows right here. So this is probably the worst Sphinx Cow combo. Out of all the Sphinx Cow combos that TT did, this is the worst one. This is 480 high taper. Just too tall, chat, too tall. It wobbles too much, and it's easy to burst. I much prefer something like this, which is the blue one or the white one. This one comes with 180 gear flat. Now, obviously tall, but the speed and the hits that it can do, especially when it's got that one, which means it's only got 1 contact point for it to get bursted on, that means that this bay is a lot better than the black one. It is actually pretty entertaining. And we've also got this white Sphinx Cow here, which I really like the glitter. Like, you can kind of see the glitter right there, chat, on the chip right there. And then 560 orb. A great way to get orb. This is probably the best combo out of all the Sphinx Cows that we have. Very solid with its defense. Better than the original, to be honest. Better combo than the original. Let's go on to another random select bay. We have got the black Viper tail, which comes with 460 and flat. This bay actually does really good at covering up that 460 ratchet, which is kind of prone for bursting. Flat is just very solid. It hasn't really been outclassed too much to a point where it's obsolete or anything like that. So it's a very solid bit right there. And then we've got 460 obviously with our Viper tail. Alright, gold Viper tail now. This isn't as good as the black one. Obviously, the black one's a bit better than the gold one. This comes with 380 high needle, but it pulls off the 380 and the high, like the 80 and the high, better than the black Sphinx scale. I just don't like the black Sphinx scale. It's not that great on that combo. But yeah, glitter on the goldy yellow, which is really good. And to be honest, I like high needle. High needle is good. I haven't got under needle yet, so I wouldn't know about under needle, but high needle is very, very solid. Alright, next ones. We've got a bunch more recolors to go through. We have got Night Lance. Now this was probably the best way to get low flat if you were like a Japan only buyer, or if you could only get the Japanese bays. This came with 360 and low flat. My low flat's a little bit beaten up with this bay, but yeah, Night Lance on 360 low flat is actually pretty good. It's hard to burst because it's low, and also it can hit the bays ratchet perfectly. So this is actually a very solid bay. We've got 4 bays left right here. I like all 4 of these recolors, to be honest. We'll start off with the Dran sword right here. The color scheme is really good. We've got like a blue glitter right there, a bluey green glitter, like a turquoise. That's good. And yeah, the dark blue on the bottom as well is perfect. I love this one right here. It was a good substitute until I waited for the Hasbro sword Dran to come out so I could get that original color for a little bit cheaper. Let's go on to Purple Knight shield here. Focus, please, camera. Please focus. And this comes with 580 taper. Now, 580 taper, you would think, or 80 is not that great, which it isn't. But 5 ratchet is so superb that it really just, like, makes up for the 80. I don't know why, but it does. And then the taper and the Night Lance. Like, this feels like it shouldn't work, chat. Like, we've got a stamina ratchet on a balance bit, on a defense bit. But it just does work. This one is a very solid recolor and is a good stock combo for a recolor bay. Next one we have got Wizard Arrow. Now, you see me compliment this bay all the time on live streams, if you've been watching the live streams. This comes with 480 needle. I just really love this bay. Like, this bay just takes the hits when it's meant to. It doesn't flee away from the battles, and it can actually outspin a lot of bays. Very, very solid combo. I recommend you try out this combo, chat. It's a very good combo. And then obviously our final recolor is Wyvern Gale. I saved this one for last because I did not have the original Wyvern Gale yet. I'm still waiting for Hasbro to release the double pack, you know, which is ridiculous. It comes with 260. 260 is probably the worst 60 that we've seen so far. Just too much of a contact point, and too much stuff can go wrong with that. Spike is actually a very solid defense bit. Probably my second favorite defense bit out of the bunch. Obviously, like I said, I don't have under needle. I'd have to go with high needle, spike, and then gear needle. That's probably my 3 favorite defensive bits. Obviously, bounce spike is also pretty good as well. But yeah, spike, my second favorite bit. And Wyvern's not too bad on this combo list. I'm not sure about the stock combo. But yeah, let's put it all together now. So we've got one. Oh, actually, I forgot these ones. Right, chat. Okay, so we've got Tyranno Beats with a very nice red coat with 160 rubber A. This came in the customized set. So did this blue one. And look how good that blue one is. This is probably the prettiest Beyblade X bay out right now. Like, look at the glitter in the middle. I refuse to battle this bay, chat. The glitter is just too good. If you see this one in Hasbro, chat, pick it up if you like keeping bays in mint condition, because look at that glitter. Oh my goodness, is that superb, chat? That is superb right there. But yeah, overall we have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we have 14 recolor bays. Add that onto the total. Alright, we've got our BX bays, chat, right here. This is even more ridiculous. So we'll go on with Teams Organic first. So this is probably the worst Beyblade X bay 380 spike in terms of like what came out in that wave. Like, we got Dran's Dagger and Hell's Chain. This bay was very lacking in that. But obviously people think this bay is really bad because of that, which it isn't. But it just got overshadowed in that wave. Next bay we have got is Viper Tail. This came out in a Random Booster Select and a double pack. I highly recommend getting the double pack from Hasbro over the TT Random Booster Select. I'll always recommend double packs and starter sets from Hasbro over TT if the quality is there. And if it's locked behind a random booster, that gives more reason to get it. So Orb, I actually really like Orb. Orb is very, very superb, better than Ball in my opinion. Yeah, 580, not the best, but yeah, this bay is actually really good for its time, surprisingly. I like that bay a lot. Alright, next one, you've got Leon Claw, the team leader of Team Zuganic. 560 point. A lot of people like this bay. I like this bay too. It's got a nice like roundness, but it's also got some power to it as well. Point could be better. 560 is superb. And I think this was like the way we got introduced to 560. So thank you, Leon Claw, for giving us 560. Our next one, we got Dran Sword. Dran Sword, or Sword Dran really, chat, is just the basic benchmark attack type bay. You know, like I already kind of talked about Sword Dran. There's the QR code if you want it. I already talked about this bay. It's just like the benchmark. You know, like you're not gonna get anything that's gonna like overwhelm it, and you're not gonna get anything that's gonna like be like really bad against it. Like it's just in the middle. It's in the middle of the field right now, which is all right. Next one right here, we got Phoenix Wing. We'll actually put this next to our Phoenix, Wing Phoenix, Saw Phoenix and Phoenix Wing. As you can see, I don't really battle my Saw Phoenix because there's no point. But I did get this for the string launcher, which absolutely backfired, chat, because it broke in like 4 launches. It broke in a week. So yeah, that was kind of pointless. I regret buying that. But at least I got another 960 and a Saw Phoenix. So yeah, 960, probably the best ratchet to date. Gear flat we've already seen on Sphinx Cow in the talking video. And yeah, just beaten up, which obviously makes sense. Our next one, we have got Hell Scythe. Hell Scythe still competitively viable to this day. Comes with 460 and taper. Obviously the combo that you want to use on this is like a 9 or a 5 with a 60, and then something like Orb, Ball, Free Ball is what you're going to be looking for if you want to get the most out of your Hell Scythe. Alright, next one we have got is Black Shell. Black Shell is a defense type. Comment Z, comment and subscribe. 460 dot. This introduced dot and a Black Shell, which was our like bottom tier member of Team Pentagon. Obviously came out in the same way as Cobalt Dragoon. We're gonna save Cobalt Dragoon to the very end of this bit right here. Black Shell's surprisingly good. Dot isn't that bad. Black Shell's got decent stamina. Yeah, Black Shell, very, very solid bay. Not as solid as a Night Shield. Night Shield has really stood the test of time so far. It's been about 2 years and Night Shield is still up there. Still can compete. 380 needle. Like if we're talking stock combo up against stock combo, Night Shield can still compete with some of the best stock combo bays. Not so much for Night Lance. Night Lance is just too tall, 480 high. This is where you just have an 80 and a high bit, and you know what I think about that by now, chat. It is terrible. It's not a good combination, and most of the time you burst or you're too tall and you tip over. Next one, we've got Hell's Chain. Hell's Chain, I feel like doesn't get the love it deserves, chat. Like it was getting pretty good support at the start, and then people just forgot about it. But 560 with high taper. Yeah, Hell's Chain, very good for attack. It's just all around, like good defense, good stamina, good attack. You can chuck this on anything and you should have a very good chance of doing some damage. Next one, we got Sphinx Cow right here, which is the prize one. We talked about 3 other Sphinx Cows, so I don't want to get into this one too much. We did get 980, however, from it, and Gear Needle. This bay is probably going to be overlooked in the future just because this bay came out around about the same time as the UX bays. So yeah, it's going to get overlooked. Just like Shelter Drake will get overlooked, Sphinx Cow will probably get overlooked as well. Next bay, we've got Tyranno Beat, which is a random booster bay that I feel like is going to get forgotten very soon. But this is actually like one of the heaviest bays, believe it or not. One of the heaviest bays, right up there with Saw Phoenix and Wave. Very solid bay. 460. Quake is terrible, but it's very fun to use. Alright, next one we've got Vice Tiger. Vice Tiger, to be honest, I was using this one. The guy that I got it from, shout out to him. The guy that I bought it off, he said, obviously I bought it new, but yeah, he said that this was very good. I didn't believe him at first, chat. I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't believe him because as soon as I was battling with him, he got destroyed. She got absolutely, like, Vice Tiger got destroyed multiple times. Her bay got destroyed multiple times. And then I how can I say, I just kind of like it grew on me. Vice Tiger really did grew on me a lot. Unite's very solid for those Phoenix Wing combos as well. 360, can't go wrong with 360. But yeah, this bay just kind of grew on me, chat. Is that weird to say? Because it kind of grew on me. Alright, next one, we've got Wizard Arrow. Wizard Arrow, just a troll bay. Just a troll bay. I don't even want to talk about it. It's just too much of a troll. Duran's Dagger, I would say actually get the TT one over Hasbro. because this bay is actually cheaper to get for a good price from TT than Hasbro at the moment. But yeah, 460 Rush, highly recommend getting this for the Rush and for the Dagger Blade. 460 not so much. The Dagger Blade you're gonna get so much value out of. It's so good with the barrage attacks and Rush as well, helping to make a perfect duo right there. Our next one, we got Shark Edge. This was the first random booster bay. I do have this in Hasbro form, so this is Kill Shark, 360 low flat. Really good purple. I love purple, chat. Purple's really good. Unfortunately, we do not have a copper color bay yet. That's my favorite color, copper, bronze, gold bronze. But yeah, very good upper attacks, very long stamina though. But this bay was wreaking havoc when it was like the 5th bay out. When there's only 5 bays out and this bay came out, this bay was wreaking havoc, smashing through all the competition. Our next one, we have got Unicorn Sting right here. Unicorn Sting, I need to get a second one of this. This is 560 gear point. Gear point, probably the best gear bit that we've had so far. 560, you can't go wrong with 560 like I've said. And Unicorn Sting, very solid for more of like the Bull combos, just like Hell Scythe. You put it on 360, and Bull, you're going to do some damage. You're going to be very decent. You're going to be able to hang in there with some of the best bays. Okay, our next 3, our final 3 BX bays, we have got Whale Wave. Whale Wave is the heaviest Beyblade X layer for BX at the moment. The shape's very weird, so it's not that competitive. 580, not as good as 560, obviously. And then Elevate is actually probably the best bit to come out of this. Obviously, like the best thing to come out of this bay is Elevate. Elevate, you can chuck it on just about any bay that you want to equalize with, like Cobalt Dragoon or Lightning on Drago, and that's where Elevate really shines. Not so much on this attack type stuff, but more on this like zombie spin stealing bays is what that Elevate bit goes off. Now we've got Crimson Garuda right here, another bay that I feel like is going to be underrated severely. It's got like a similar shape to Shark Edge, just a lot thinner. It comes with 460 Transpoint. Transpoint, I hope we see more trans stuff, like transformation where like it transforms the height. Yeah, I hope we see more of that, because the Transpoint so far, I'm happy with Transpoint. Transpoint is very, very solid. And then obviously our final bay for the BX lineup, we have got Cobalt Dragoon, the first left spin bay to be introduced for Beyblade X. Comes with 260, like I said about 260, not a good ratchet. And then Cyclone, I don't really use it that much, but Cyclone, whenever I use it on this stock combo, I haven't had problems with it. It hasn't been bad, it hasn't been like amazing, it's just been an alright bit. So yeah, all together with the BX bays, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21 BX bays so far. Add that to the tally as we move on to the final thing, chat. If you've stuck around, thank you so much. You know, I at least owe you a request, chat. So if you put a comment in the down below and request something, I'll do it, chat. All right, as long as it's, you know, in the guidelines of YouTube. What a long video, chat. We're finishing it off with the UX line. These are all the bays that I have so far, chat. If you want me to do another one of these videos, give me a couple years, because this is ridiculously long, chat. But yeah, thank you to everyone sticking around to the end of today's video. I really do it. It really does mean the world to me, chat. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, we're going to start off with Leon Crest. Leon Crest came out in a single pack, very thick defense, 760, which was a brand new ratchet at the time, and Gear Needle. Gear Needle obviously came on Sphinx KO originally, and yeah, this is just a better way to get Gear Needle on a better bay. Like Leon Crest, just so solid, very thick. Absolutely love Leon Crest. All right, next bay we have got is obviously, I think this is like the mother of like King Marju, right? Queen Marju, I believe, is the mother of King Marju. We have got 180. 180 is not as good as 160, like I said, and then Metal Needle. This bay just had too much like variables that were like too many cons, chat. Too many cons with this bay. It was too light, and the one didn't help it out because it was sticking out like that, chat, all the time. And then the Metal Needle would just scratch the stadium up all the time. Alright, let's continue. Chat. Alright, let's bring in Phoenix Rudder. This came in a 3-on-3 deck set. It was our first deck set in a while. Like I said, we didn't get a deck set until Phoenix Rudder. The first 2 deck sets were Hell's Chain and Dran's Dagger, and then we didn't see any more after that. It came with 970, the first beta come with 970, and then we have got Glide. Glide is actually pretty good. Like, I don't really see it that much, chat, and I feel like we should be seeing it more. Like, Glide, if you know what to do with it, chat, it's very good. Like, it's got some good stamina. It's got the defense of like movements like Tower, but it's hard to hit, which is good. And also you can use the speed to hit bays really hard with it. Alright, Next one right here, we've got Ghost Circle. Same thing with Ghost Circle with like Shinobi Shadow. Just had too many variables, like too many cons going on with it. So we have the fact that it's too small and it's too light, but it does have that circle, so that's a pro. Gear ball, terrible bit. 080 is actually really good. I do like 080, but the gap on this is terrible. Like just too many pros, like too many cons on this, and like not enough pros to make that bay any good compared to another circular bay like Wizard Rod. Wizard Rod does everything that Ghost Circle and Shinobi Shadow should have done, right? It's got the weight, it's got perfect outer weight, it's got a circle, it can take a lot of hits, 570, and disc ball keeps it balanced, chat. If you're doing stock combo meta, 570 is very tough, and that Wizard Rod, but that disc ball really makes this bay come down to earth. Obviously, in like a competitive format, Wizard Rod dominates because you can just switch out that disc ball. But in a stock combo format, this is the bay that definitely has some weaknesses, but it's so solid that it's even hard to even exploit that weakness of that disc ball. Now, a bay that, once again, these defense bays have too many cons, or like they Ghost Circle and they're too light. This bay has too many cons, alright? And I'll tell you why, alright? So we've got a perfect attack type layer in Nightmare, which is weird to say, but it's true, chat. It's really good for attack. The balls help out with stamina, and then you got bounce spike. Bounce spike's a really good defensive bit, but people wouldn't know that because they run it off because it's on 385. Now, 385 is the worst ratchet of all time right now. It is terrible. It's garbage, right? It lets down bounce spike, it lets down Night Maul, it makes it too easy to burst, it has too many holes in it, so it moves around too much. Now, if you put bounce spike on something like Leon Claw or Wizard Rod, you'll see it sits in the center. Like, it moves a little bit and then it'll just sit in the center and just absorb hits. Bounce spike is very, very solid. Probably my 4th favorite defense bit. Definitely recommend trying it out outside of this stock combo, because this stock combo is terrible because of that 385. 385 is the worst ratchet right now. Alright, our final 5 bays, chat. Okay, we've got Samurai Saber. Samurai Saber came with a Samurai launcher. It has 270, which is a new ratchet, but not good because 2 is the worst ratchet out of the bunch. Level is OP, chat. Now, I know a lot of people like to clickbait and say it's the fastest bloody bit or whatever. Like, it goes over 100 kilometers an hour. It is the fastest bit, but it does not go over 100 kilometers an hour. You are a complete clown, alright, if you think that. But yeah, Samurai Saber, a bay that's just alright. Like, really doesn't excel with attack, even though it's meant to be an attack type bay. It doesn't really excel with attack like bays like Dran's Buster or Impact Drake. Now, Dran's Buster has that sword design, that classic sword design from Xeno Excalius. And yeah, big hits from Dran's Buster. It comes with 160. This introduced 160, and 160 has been very dominant on just about any combo. It's really good. It's up there with 5, a 560, a 760, and a 960. Excel, I never really got behind. I just used Rush instead. Rush is my go-to overall when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, very solid attack type there. I highly recommend, chat, trying that one out on 360 or 160 and then putting Rush on it. Next one, we have got Hell's Hammer. Now, on that blue one that you saw, chat, they fixed the problem up with this one, but the problem with this bay is that it is dual spin, and it's not meant to be dual spin, right? Which is kind of funny. But yeah, we got 370, like I said, first 370 to come out, and then we have got Hector. Hector came out in this bay, and Hector's pretty solid as well. Hector is very good for those Wizard Rod combos, those Silver Wolf combos, just those very defensive combos. Hector is very solid at. And then we have got Silver Wolf right here, free spinning blade, 380 lets it down a bit, and free ball. But this is perfect, right? This is just like Wizard Rod, where it's a great stock combo, but it has one thing letting it down, which doesn't make it unbeatable. If they gave this bay 970 or 960, this bay would be ridiculous out of the box. But all you gotta do is just get a different ratchet that's a bit better than this one, and you can have a lot of competitive matches, and you can go pretty far with Silver Wolf on free ball and just change the ratchet. This bay is very, very solid. And then our final bay is Impact Drake, 960 low rush. This brings us on to our final release of Beyblade X so far in terms of what I have, chat. Rubber Attack, heaviest Beyblade X bay so far, 960, very solid. And low rush, I'm liking low rush, not as much as rush, but it is very, very close. A very good bit. This bay is a very solid way to end off the video. That is 11 UX bays. So total that all up, chat. Total that all up. Over 500 Beyblades, ranging from Burst, Mini Beyblades, Metal Fight Bays, and Beyblade X Bays. Let me know down in the comments below the exact tally of all the bays. Someone please add it up in the comments below, and I'll pin that comment, chat. I'll pin that comment, I'll hard that comment. That is some dedication. I appreciate anyone that does that, chat. But yeah, be sure to comment down below. That I really do appreciate. If you made it this far, chat, please subscribe. Like, please subscribe. It really does help out the channel a lot. And yeah, smash the like button or you're not going to see the next video. That's just how YouTube works, chat. Like, legit, YouTube does not push the channel if you don't smash the like button. So be sure to smash the like button. We'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Stay with me now. We'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Adios. Who should we bring off with, though? We should end off with Impact Snake. That's fitting, right? We'll see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Adios.